To say, but the bottom side is a lot of turf. He's actually a half sibling to a filly named Sacred Wish, who George Weaver trained, and she actually was a Grade 1 winner on the grass. So we certainly find it on the bottom side. But I wanted to see how dirt or turfy he looks. And he actually doesn't look bad for coming on the grass. He doesn't have a ton of substance like a dirt sprinter would. He has a little bit more, leanness to him. I'm going to say from a fitness standpoint, he looks like he could maybe use a touch more conditioning.
It's a lovely story, Tail Gunner Joe. That's number 1, Brave Hunter, who lines up for Ishmael Mohammed and Sylvester de Souza. Humidity must have a chance, full brother to a previous winner of this race in the form of Holloway Boy. There is Tail Gunner Joe, who you've touched on, who's a big price here. Good luck to Nick Bauer and Dylan Cunha, who we heard from with Jane. That's the Secret Adversary, who ran really well from the front ahead of Italy, who's a good horse who didn't qualify for this race. This horse in the flesh, number 5, Tramore, is meant to be gorgeous. Haven't seen him before, Michelle.
Yeah, meant to be well liked and cost a pretty penny at the sale. So you're going to spend $2 million. Your horse better look darn good. Waterford Castle coming up next, and then Zuter, who won first time out, was relatively inexpensive. Moments of Joy, a daughter of Justify.
Zuter is number 7. Looking for Tremor just behind us, can't see. Moments of Joy must have an obvious chance. Ryan Moore, Aidan O'Brien, although it's just been a touch easier back in the betting. And Venetian Lace lines up for Charlie Johnston, who was a winner 20 days ago. Good luck to that daughter of Massar, ahead of the Chesham.
Huge crowds here on day 5 of Royal Ascot. Wonderful atmosphere. I'm here in the Queen Anne enclosure, the Royal enclosure just behind me. Ray Mulvaney on the front rails here, and you can see betting on the Hardwicke Rebels Romance is 15-8, Alrifa 11-2, and it's 15-2. Ghost Rider, he cost £2 million in London Golf Sale in Kensington Gardens on Monday evening. That's at 3:05. But the first race on day 5 is the Chesham, 2:30 and 3 and more. Also impressive at Newmarket, even though the clock watchers said the time was slow, 13-8, and he's popular in the ring. Humidity would be a very topical winner because it's seriously humid here. 7-2. Moments of Joy, absolutely friendless from 7-4, taking a right walk in the market at 4-1. Venetian Lace is 6-1, and it's 10-1 bar, but 3 and more, 13-8. 7-2 humidity. Royal Ascot is Equine Disney World.
So another 2-year-old race of the week, yet these are for the more staying types of 2-year-olds. It's over 7 furlongs, and there are conditions involved around the sire. Had to have won a race over 1.25 miles. Now this one, number 6, is by Sea the Stars. He's called Waterford Castle and was 3rd on debut only 8 days ago. That was over 7 furlongs, and I think he can improve from that start. He's on quite a quick backup, but he's quite a laid-back individual. Not a bother on him, despite the crowds and the noise. He is super relaxed. This one's a little bit more on the metal. It's number 4, the Secret Adversary, over from Ireland. Fozzie Strat trains at this one. He's got a big white face. You can't really see it, that hood, which will come off, so you'll be able to identify him in the race. And he was beaten by an Aidan O'Brien horse on debut, not by very far, and I think it was quite a smart performance, so he could definitely have a chance, as could most of these. Number 7, this is Zuter, who is probably going to find life a little bit harder than some of the others because this is his very first start on a race course, and I've got to say he's handling things very, very well. He was a cheap yearling, relatively speaking. He only cost 8,000 guineas, and you might find this coming all a little bit too soon. Number 2 is Humidity. He was bought by Wothman just recently from Jubilee Park after he won at Newbury on a 6 furlong maiden. And actually, if you want to go for pedigrees, this one's full brother, called Holloway Boy, Helliniki, won this very race in 2022. So that's a pretty good pedigree indicator to his chances. Lovely type, isn't he? Nice and relaxed. Humidity, very well named for today because it's not very sunny, but it is very warm. Feels like real thunderstorm weather. Number 5, Trian Moore. This horse, now, he cost 2 million guineas as a yearling, and he is going some way to repaying that. He won on debut, and here he is at Royal Ascot on his 2nd start, and he's a nice type. He's a good athletic sort, nice strong hind quarter. He's bifrancal. He's very well bred. Now let's have a couple more. Number 9. This is from the Charlie Johnson yard. We had Venetian Sun winning yesterday, but we got Venetian Lace here today, one of 2 fillies in the field. She's a nice type. You can't probably see much under her sheet there. That's just to keep her cool, but quite a big, strong girl. And number 8 is Moments of Joy, who's the other filly. She's by Justified. Quite a different type. She's quite tall, quite leggy. What is it with these Aidan O'Brien 2-year-olds? They're often really big this year. And she won a Leopardstown Maiden last time, which has provided the winner of this race in 2017 and 2024. So plenty of chances. I hope you've picked your favourite at home.
Well, this is surely the day where Charlie Appleby explodes onto the Royal Ascot scene. And let's hope it starts here, Charlie, with Trianmore trying to do what Pinatuma did a few years ago. €2 million worth of horse, and he looked pretty good on debut.
Yeah, we were very pleased. Look, we were confident on debut that he'd go about his business and win, and he justified that. Hopefully, to step up to the 7, we'll see a bit more improvement again, and obviously that bit of time, he's strengthening. He is strengthening, as week on week, but he's done well from his run to today.
The other thing with this horse is born in January 2023, which technically makes him 2.5 really, which is a little bit older than quite a lot of these.
Yeah, as you know, it can sometimes come if you've got the engine as well. More importantly, there's no harm in being there. Yeah,
if you got the engine,
a little bit. Well, we're confident. We'll find out soon. But look, we're very confident coming into today. Look, it's been one of those weeks. It's on everyone's lips. I know it's on your lips, Matt. But it's been one of those weeks, as I said at the start of the week. Thames Lions here, and the first day, their notable speech. It was a race that was a bit messy, and after that, the handicap was a bit. They're always tough for us to win. It's not something that we sort of plan out too far in advance, but. Ruling court, he's come out the race well, and as respects to yesterday, the ground conditions were tight. William just felt that coming back to that 6 is a different ball game to what we've been obviously training him during the spring there to be the miler and to relax and get that mile, and then we've asked him to just sharpen it up over the last couple of weeks. But you can't beat race experience at that level, at that trip, and look, I'm sure we'll see a different horse next time.
Let's hope you explode back today. Good luck, Charlie.
Thanks ever so much, Matt.
So Aidan O'Brien dominated the 2-year-old races here on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, but there was a wobble yesterday with Signora when she started favourite but couldn't land the first race yesterday. Today they rely on Moment of Joy. Now, she wasn't even first string on her run here before Ascot. Minerva in the navy colours was the chosen stable first choice on this occasion. She broke well on the way in Lorden. Did look like she lacked the gear in Leopardstown across the bottom of the track from the 4th to the 3 pole, as Wayne Lorden had to wind her up, but she did find plenty for pressure, and she battled well down the home straight to get the better of Little Sure Shot, and her stable companion Minerva kept going. The big worry though is that she is friendless in the market. She's out to 7-2 where I am looking. Stad was 7-2 favourite and well back. True Love was well back at 9-4 favourite, and Charles Darton was backed off the boards into odds on. This filly is not attracting market support, which would be a concern.
So here is Moments of Joy, the filly. Will we get a hat-trick of fillies winning this race? Bedtime Story, remember, blowing them apart last year. But Trianmore, everyone tells me, is such a looker. Kieran Fallon in the Racing Post this morning, I love the quote. He said, if you were looking at 100 horses at Moulton Paddocks, you'd pick him out. You like him?
He's a beauty.
Is he?
You'd be worried if he didn't have some looks when he cost €2 million as a yearling. So, yeah, he is. Look, he's a strong, well-built colt, beautifully put together, a son of Frankel. And to be honest with you, Ed, he really impressed me at Newmarket. He absolutely bolted up. Everything kind of just happened pretty smoothly. He was always in a nice rhythm. Learned quite a lot, I think, as he came down the hill. And William just sort of kept him balanced and in his hands. Once he started to hit the rising ground and asked him to extend, I mean, Jason, that turn of foot is so impressive, and he put lengths between the field with so much ease.
I think they were a little bit surprised at how much pace he showed on this occasion, because they were always saying it was in their mind that they were going to go 7 furlongs for this particular contest, the Chesham. So they were a bit surprised with how quick he was.
So he's showing plenty of pace. That was 6 furlongs. This is 7. Why did they not go for a 6 furlong option? Did they think this was more winnable?
Yeah, I think that's got to be the case, isn't it?
Because he's by Frankel.
It normally is, and we're relying on pedigrees again. When you go down through some of them in here, the likes of, Humidity, he's a brother to Holloway Boy, we saw win here on his racecourse debut.
Yeah, exactly, back in 2022. Who do you like most, Luke?
Well, I'm just looking at Trian Moore, as you've already said, cost €2 million, so you could either have him or a penthouse on Ascot High Street. It remains to be seen till after this race which you'd go for, but he's got plenty of scope about him. You can see Williams just got a towel on his neck where he's just a bit sweaty there, so his reins don't get too slippery, but he's behaving really well. He looks an intelligent looking horse. He's well put together. I couldn't be critical of him at all. So yeah, I really like him. Biggest horse in the race is Venetian Lace. You can see Charlie, number 9 there, Charlie Johnson's horse, who again comes into this unbeaten, having won at Chelmsford. He's a big scopy horse. To be honest, these babies, they're all behaving pretty well as they start to load.
More, the best price I saw in the ring was 6-4. Trainmore back into now 11-8. Some bookmakers calling 5-4. Moments of Joy is a 7-2 shot. Humidity 9-2. Venetian Lace is 7-1. And there's a few quid in the ring for the St. Mark's Basilica Colt, liked by Fozzie Stack, Shamie Halford and Steers. The secret adversary, but strong the favourite Trainmore, 11-8.
So 5-4, the favourite. Best price 7-4 this morning. He's very strong in the market. Horse number 1, Brave Hunter, 3rd on debut. Sylvester de Souza rides. Number 3 is Tailgunner Joe, even. One of the horses making their debut in the Chesham, as Holloway Boy did 3 years ago, and he won it that day. The last one then, about to come forward. The opener on day 5, Richard.
Moments of Joy was just a little bit fractious going in, and it's a little bit restive in the stalls as Brave Hunter completes our smallest juvenile field of the week, just 9 of them for this 7-furlong Chesham Stakes listed contest. And Brave Hunter is last into the stalls for Sylvester de Souza. So all set to go on day 5. They jump away, a little go into stride was the debutant Zuta. Humidity is out well, gold sleeves, and away to the left-hand side, Moments of Joy and Ryan Moore leads a breakaway duo with Brave Hunter. Humidity down the centre, big white face then. Tracking that is the Secret Adversary alongside the similarly pale colours of Venetian Lace. At this stage, the market leader Trian Moore in the blue jacket settles in around about 4th or 5th place, with Waterford Castle and the 2 debutants Zuta and Tailgunner Joe at the back. So it's Humidity who settles down with the lead by 3/4 of a length from Venetian Lace. Moments of Joy to the left-hand side, and between the pair, the Secret Adversary. Trian Moore in the blue jacket races in 5th, with Waterford Castle in green and black, and the yellow and black on the outside of Brave Hunter. And the last 2, Zuta and Tailgunner Joe. Humidity just trying to stack them up slightly, sitting and waiting in front. Left-hand side, Moments of Joy. Trian Moore's now just asked to try and improve, with Venetian Lace towards the right-hand side as Humidity leads them down towards the 2. Humidity still sitting pretty at the moment. Moments of Joy is now ridden along. Venetian Lace, Trian Moore, and the big white face of the Secret Adversary. Moments of Joy is roding away at Humidity over on the far side. The Secret Adversary is trying to join in. Humidity narrowly in the front. Has seen off Moments of Joy, but the Secret Adversary is a persistent challenger. Humidity still out in front. The Secret Adversary still can't get by. A gutsy success for Humidity. Wins the Chesham. In second place, the Secret Adversary was close for 3rd. Venetian Lace and Moments of Joy. Behind these, Tailgunner Joe. Trian Moore out with the washing in company with Brave Hunter and Zuta. The full brother to the 2022 winner Holloway Boy follows in his hoofprints. Humidity, not a debutant, he had a run purchased out of the Cheveley Park stud in a juvenile race at Newbury that's worked out really well and gives Wokingham Racing another winner on the week. Second, the Secret Adversary, very close for 3rd. Venetian Lace on the inside of Moments of Joy, and a gap back to Trian Moore, who couldn't go with the principals when they quickened. James Doyle waited in front and held off a whole host of challengers for a gutsy success in the Chesham.
Number 4 on the week for Wokingham, like his brother, winning the Chesham. From Holloway Boy 3 years ago, Humidity this time around. Trian Moore, I think you'd want the penthouse on Ascot High Street. Very disappointing in 5th, convincing winner.
What a lovely attitude this horse has. You know, he's bounced out the stalls and James has dictated the fractions on the front end throughout. But I just love how he's so relaxed. When James asked him to knuckle down, he stuck his head out and really tried. I think he even flicked an ear coming up to the line, and he's just a really likeable horse, just like his brother.
He's got a big enough stride on him, hasn't he? And I think he was just able to use it and really lengthen going up to the line. The son of Ulysses, you wouldn't necessarily put with a speedyish Ascot winning 2-year-old, but the dam, clearly sultry, is good at providing that little bit of speed, as we saw with Holloway Boy a few years ago. But yeah, lovely attitude.
Look how clever he is going up to the line. One ear listening to the crowd, one ear looking at the horse who's closest to him on this side.
One ear
so
looking.
He's basically keeping a bit back for himself. Sorry?
One ear looking at the horses.
I mean, full marks.
With that good eye.
What a broodmare. What a broodmare. 2 Chesham winners. Seconds run a big race. The secret adversary for the Stack team. In third was Moments of Joy. Very disappointing Godolphin horse.
Yeah, he was, but actually myself and Jason were just saying William really eased him down over the line to the point where he stood up on him and broke his stride. Maybe he felt as if he wasn't moving properly underneath him, wasn't enjoying that ground, because he was very disappointing, but heavily eased as well.
So another success for Andrew Balding this week. He'd had a drought at Royal Ascot. Well, he's been firing them in this week. Charlie Richards led up the horse today. Yes, Charlie. They're a tight unit, the Balding team, that is for sure. Annalisa's here today. There's Andrew, the boss. Richard Brown's had some week. Just explain, Francesca, how it works with Ollie Tate and the Wokingham team, because this was a Cheveley Park horse winning.
It was
on
a
debut.
Cheveley Park horse, and yeah, you just saw a shot of Richard Brown there, and he's really the main man in charge of sourcing these horses. So I'm pretty sure the main directive is to get winners at Ascot in these colours. So yes, I mean, they have a good budget. It's the Emir of Qatar who's at the head of the operation. He wants to have these winners at Ascot. And that's their job, and they've done a good job. He looks like he's had a wash down and maybe a little bit nervous of the crowd.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit wary of the crowd. James got off briefly and just gave him a bit of peace. Ears pricked there, taking it all in, getting lots of water as well. Just spooking at the crowd a fraction.
It's a lot for these 2-year-olds to take in, though, isn't it? You know, he's ran once before, and it would have been a lot quieter at Newbury than it is here today. And also, I know it's hot, so they're throwing the water over them, and there's a lot going on all at once. So for the 2-year-olds, it's probably a little bit overwhelming, but luckily James has got off, reset, and he's all good.
And you could see the difference a bit before the race, couldn't you, with the favourite Trian Moore just getting a little bit warm down at the start, whereas this horse, he did walk around like a lamb.
Quite like the fact that his debut effort was in an 18-runner field at Newbury, so you get used to a bit of more hustle and bustle, if you like, and there's a lot of screaming and shouting going on from the different horses, all immature, but yeah, what a wonderful attitude.
And James Doyle won this a few years ago on Pinatubo. He's won it again.
I'm really looking forward to hearing what James Doyle had to say about this horse, James, because although the second got to within half a length of you, his ears were suggesting that he had loads more in the tank.
Yeah, he wasn't doing much late on. I guess on debut he was in front most of the way, but he had a contested battle all the way up to the line, so it kept him honest. But they came at me, he fought them off, and then he was waiting for them to come again. But yeah, that's generally a good sign when they're pricking their ears for the last half a furlong. And yeah, it certainly felt like he'd have responded well if something had come to me.
The family obviously have a very good record in this race now. His brother Ulysses, Holloway Boy won this race as well. How good a 2-year-old do you think you're sitting on right now?
It's always hard to say, but he, like you say, he's bred to be good, isn't he? So yeah, with his full brother, that's all right, chap. Thank you. That's all right, don't worry. Yeah, he's good. Thank you, guys. These guys obviously doing a great job, aren't they? It's very warm. It doesn't look that warm, a bit overcast, but it's very hot. Yeah, well, we'll live the dream. I remember texting Oshie and saying, is humidity any good? And he just put the rocket emoji back, so that got me excited.
Well done. Could be a great day for you, James. Best of luck.
Yeah, congratulations to James Doyle. Andrew Balding, he's won a Windsor Castle, he's won a Coventry, he's won an Albany. Now you win your first Chesham.
Yeah, I'm so pleased that, this horse was, at the beginning of the week, was probably, we felt was our strongest chance. He's a lovely horse. He had a battle hard today, but he's done it well.
And I remember straight after the race at Newbury you won, you kind of said 6 furlongs absolutely the minimum for this horse. I mean, he's going to go a lot further than 7 in time.
Yeah, I would hope so, but he's not short of speed either, so we'll just have to have a think. This was always the plan, but we'll work back from something nice in the autumn.
Obviously Wathman now, but was Jubilee Park stud owner bred. Great for Ulysses, because I guess some people have thought Ulysses have a little bit of character, and of course this is a relation to Holloway Boy, who had a little bit of character, but this guy looks quite straightforward.
So laid back. I'm so thrilled. I'm a big fan of Ulysses. I think he's a very underrated stallion, and it's good, good for him. We've got a couple of other really nice horses by him. So, but he's an absolute dude. This horse, very relaxed and.
Long term, I mean, I know it's a very long term, I'm going to say here, but could this be a Guineas horse, or do you think he will be further than that by May of next year?
No, he could be. He's not, as I say, he's not short of speed, and he's got a lovely long stride. He's got a bright future.
Enjoy the moment.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good week for the team from Kingsclear. Here's their latest winner, so well named. With the weather today, Jubilee wins the Chesham at 4-1. Secret Adversary was second at 12. Moments of Joy third at 100-30. Will Buick definitely looking down as he passed the post on the 5-4 favourite Trian Moore. Still no luck for Charlie Appleby at Royal Ascot in recent.
Just willing to please, did everything foot perfect, didn't waste any energy.
So our opening race has gone to Humidity, keeping it in the family, as we've already mentioned, with Holloway Boy, who won this a few years ago. Well done to Sultry, the Dam, who's produced 2 Chesham winners. Son of Ulysses, Andrew Balding, another winner for him this week. And he's littered with Royal Ascot winners. And I think he's had a really good week. I tell you what, they've got good chances coming up as well. The likes of Bell and Justin. They got lots of live chances later on. And a few in the Wathnan colours as well. So good luck to Andrew and the team as they progress throughout the week. We'll head out and find Ali Vance.
Ascot Racecourse, in partnership with London fashion house LK Bennett, have run an initiative with local schools, and they've tasked local schools and local school children to design an outfit for Royal Ascot, and I'm delighted to reveal the winner. Sophia, congratulations, you're looking amazing. I'm going to talk to you in just a moment, because also part of the competition, part of the initiative was a workshop that took place, or workshops that took place in local schools, which Lorella, you ran. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yes, we ran workshops in 10 different schools, and they were a mix of private and state schools. It was really nice that they could all participate at the same level and the same platform, and the fantastic thing is it was accessible to so many young people who normally wouldn't have this opportunity. So it's fantastic that LK Bennett and Royal Ascot have supported young people and taken that first step in their creative journey.
So each school then created or submitted their design, and then LK Bennett selected the winner. Thomasine and Claudia from LK Bennett. Thomasine, firstly, what was it about this outfit that caught your eye?
So I think this year what caught my eye was, because it was plain, because we always go for printed dresses, and it was just so beautifully elegant and timeless, and I think that's what LK Bennett really represents, so that's what stood out for me.
And Claudia, LK Bennett have a strong relationship with Ascot as well.
Yes, we do. So we're here every race day, and this is our 3rd year of doing the fashion design competition, and it's been a delight to work with you, and we love this dress, and everyone who's seen it and been involved in making it absolutely adores it.
Let's have another look at this dress, because it is absolutely, the lines are fantastic. Sophia, what gave you inspiration for this dress?
Well, I love vintage dresses, and I love Audrey Hepburn's fashion, so I just wanted to kind of incorporate that kind of silhouette in my dresses, and I just think it's really classy. And
you're 15, so a few more years left to study, but would designing be something that you'd be interested in fashion?
Definitely, yeah. I take art and textiles in school, so I definitely want to pursue something in design.
Well, look, enjoy your first time at Royal Ascot today, so yeah, enjoy that, and congratulations on winning the design competition.
Thank you.
Well, I've made my way down to the Queen Anne enclosure to the Moet Chandon lawn, and this is such a cool space to spend the day. I'm rather jealous of everyone sitting in their sun lounges, enjoying the weather and sipping a glass of bubblies, most importantly, and a perk of the job, I'm going to have a little sip. Oh, delicious. I would love to be sitting here all afternoon, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the racing, and these ladies are doing exactly that. Girls, how are we enjoying the day? You all look fabulous. First time at Royal Ascot?
It is my first time, yeah. It's the first time we've all come as a group. We're school friends, been friends since we were about 11, so it's our first time coming all together. So yeah, we're really excited.
Love that. What are we most looking forward to today?
Really enjoying all of the outfits and looking forward to a good sing-song at the bandstand after.
Of course, the bandstand, a great tradition of Royal Ascot. How about you? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, just the atmosphere, just people watching, seeing everyone's outfits. It's fun.
Well, you look fab. You all look the part. Great to see you ladies. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers. Cheers! And a great thing about the Moet Chandon lawn, you can enjoy a glass of champagne in the sunshine and then come down and have your picture taken at the Glambot. And we are going to do that just now with these beautiful race goers that are lined up for us. Guys, how are we?
Hi, we're so excited. It's our first Royal Ascot. We're from Germany.
I love that. You come all the way from Germany just for today.
Yeah, just for today and to see London. Every time it's beautiful to see London, in summer especially.
Well, if you're ready, we'll take this Glambot by storm. Have you got your posing ready? Your best picture? Smile! Woo! You're amazing, girls and gentlemen. You all look extraordinary. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. And we love your color of the season, butter yellow. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, from the Champagne Bar to the pre-paddock, let's take a look at some of our main protagonists for the upcoming Hardwicke Stakes. Horse number 7 is coming to our left. On Monday evening, this horse changed hands for £2 million. He's Ghostwriter, a Group 2 winning juvenile, placed in a number of Group 1s last season. He looks really well. He's got a little bit warm, but it is quite a warm day. First time up to 1.5 miles. The question mark is, will he stay? But I can tell you what, he looks a picture in the paddock. Come back to our left and we'll catch the oldest horse in the lineup. This race, number 1, this race is over 100 years old. No 8-year-old has ever managed to win it. That's the statistic that Al Azi has to beat. He's a multiple graded winner, but never at Group 1 level. He placed second in a Group 1 before. Let's see if William Haggis can get him to do that. Number 2 is just behind him. That's Al Rifa. I think in the first time headgear, he's a likely pace angle. Joseph O'Brien would love to get a winner here this week. He too is looking particularly fit. Behind him is number 6, getting quite warm. That is Epic Poet. On all known form, he has to really improve. Behind him is Candleford. We'll skip back while he gets saddled to number 5. Sorry, this is Candleford. For William Haggis, the first string on jockey bookings, Tom Marquand takes the ride. He hasn't been seen since this race last year, but he doesn't look like he's going to need the run. He's perfectly fit for today. Behind him is Bellum Justum. Andrew Balling has just had our opening race winner. Let's see if he can make it a quick double, courtesy of this horse with PJ McDonald on. And number 12, just passing us by here with the lip chain on his nose. That's Table Talk. Again, on all known form, he has to improve. But if you pull back to our left, guys, as the rain starts to fall, in your shot there is Palladium, owned by Lady Bamford and trained by the all-conquering yard of John and Thady Gosden. Palladium is just getting saddled, and I can tell you in a few moments' time I'm going to grab his trainer Thady to see if I can get more information for you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Jane. That's a sight of the rain that's coming down now. It really is coming in spades. Hopefully it won't last too long and it's passing, but we've got the brollies up here because it is, yeah, it's coming down. Well,
I have to tuck everything underneath the umbrella too.
Yeah, well, listen, there we are. We've moaned all week that we haven't had enough cover from the sun, but I'm glad we got this now from the rain.
Well, you know, they didn't let us have the umbrellas up in the sun. I'm glad they're letting us have them up in the rain.
Nobody looks good wet. Nobody looks good getting wet, let's be honest. As far as the standings goes, let's just tie this up for you, because there is excitement going in today about who's going to come out on top for top jockey and top trainer. So this man is a couple clear of Oisin Murphy, Ryan Moore. He's obviously got the just about the livelier chances today, but I think it's going to be, it could be tight if Oisin gets a winner in the next couple of races. So we'll see how he goes. Oisin obviously going along very nicely at the moment. We'll confirm the standings for you between Ryan and Oisin, and James as well. He's got a host of chances today. 3, 6 for Ryan Moore, 4 for Oisin Murphy, 2 for Billy Lee, 2 for William Buick. 2 for William Buick, the Gold Cup and the Prince of Wales Stakes. Happy days. And we know it's pretty close as far as top trainer goes too.
Don't forget also with the riders that we are donating £5,000 for every Ryan Moore victory to Aftercare. ROR?
Yeah, retraining of racehorses, 5,000 for each Ryan Moore winner. Jane, I hope you're not getting too wet.
Thanks, Tom. I'm standing and seeking shelter under the tree in good company. Thady Gosden, before we start talking about this, what a week it has been. 5 winners, 3 feature races. It must be a pinch me week.
Thank you, Jane. No, of course, it's been fantastic. You know, the whole team at home, they work tirelessly, day in, day out, all year. And, you know, rain, wind or snow or sunshine like this week, they put everything into it, and it's the results they deserve. And of course, you know, the respective owners and breeders, it's why everyone does it. And it's fantastic to be able to take part, let alone, you know, have the results they've had this week.
It's a huge week. It's obviously the Olympics of our sport, and it's not over yet. You've got Palladium in here for Lady Bamford, a German Derby winner in his native country. He obviously went jumping for a brief stint with Nicky Henderson. He's had one start for you guys. What are we thinking today?
Yes, he's had an unconventional route here, that's for sure. But you know, of course, he's a talented colt. You know, he hasn't been with us too long. We're still getting to know him, but he's settled into his routine, his new life very well. He ran a good race the other day at Goodwood in the Tapster. The ground was on the slower side that day. Of course, it's been drying up through the week here, but you know, Chris does an amazing job maintaining the ground, and so it's a nice, fast, safe ground, and I don't think you should mind it at all.
Okay, so are we hopeful or confident of win number 6?
Jane, getting one winner here is what we're hopeful of, but you know, it's been a fantastic week, and just very proud of everyone who's worked hard for it.
As you should be. Quick mention for Spy Chief in the jersey. Godolphin horse, chance?
Yes, you know, he's a Kingman. He won well Yarmouth second time. Of course, big jump up in class. He's a slightly unconventional route here, but you know, he's always a talented horse, and hopefully he'll do the count.
Okay, well, win, lose or draw, it's been the week of dreams. Well done.
Thank you, Jane.
It's been unbelievable. Here are the runners then for the Hardwicke Stakes upcoming. Al Arsi, quirky but with a chance, no doubt about that. Al Rifra as well, he's got headgear on, and Dylan Bam at Monagle on again. I think that's going to be a plus. Counterfoot I can give a shout to. Tom Mark and William Haggis goes very well fresh, this horse, including when winning here a few years ago. Hasn't been seen since this race 12 months ago. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we haven't even really touched upon Rebels Romance too much today, but well, he'll be looking to get a first win of the week for Charlie Appleby.
Yeah, after the way the last horse run, I'm a little worried for Rebels Romance in here, but he's nothing if not a champion globetrotter. He'll break from stall 11 in here as a turn back in distance. You know, he's an 8-time Group 1 winner. He was 3rd in this race last year to Goliath and Blue Stocking. He's just the classiest of the class in this field. Epic Poet actually just finished 2nd behind him. He could have another runner-up effort, but Ghost Rider, the big horse, in here to see if we can step up in a big way. 7-1's a great price on him.
Yeah, Rebels Romance, 7-4 favourite. This should be his race. It should be, but of course, it hasn't been the perfect week for Charlie Appleby so far. And you also have Sunway and Table Talk in there, 10s and 22-1 on good to firm ground. So that's the scene where it's a little bit quieter out and about with the rain that's fallen. It's just easing down a little bit, Michelle, which I think is some good news. But it's not really been too bad at all, and I'm not going to go as far as to say it's going to make any difference to conditions whatsoever, given how quick it is out there at the moment. I'd love Rebels Romance to win this. That's the heart, but it's not necessarily the head play, I've got to say.
Palladium here, who I'm just going to keep a little bit away from because he's not behaving particularly well. This German Derby winner. Now he's trained by John and Thady Gosden now, but he did have a stint with Nicky Henderson. He won over hurdles before they decided to revert him back to the flat. He's a big, good-looking horse. They paid a good bit for him. He is still an entire, so still a colt, but he's a big, strong boy, and he is a bit of a naughty boy at the moment. He's just a bit overexcited. Those two handlers just have got their work cut out a bit. But what about this one? He's a real old professional. This is Rebels Romance, and oh, he looks fantastic. He's a 7-year-old now. If you were watching earlier, you would have seen Ruby explaining all the different countries that he's been racing in and the prize money that he's amassed. Over £10 million in prize money. They're keeping him at home a little bit more nowadays. He won at York on his return, and here he is in the Hardwicke. You just gotta love him. He's an absolute beauty. Now this one is getting quite warm. It's number 6. It's Epic Poet. He's got a bit sweaty. I don't remember him doing that last time I saw him, but I remember when I saw him at York last time out when he finished second to Rebels Romance. I was blown away by how well he looked. He ran a good race that day and he's putting together a pretty consistent CV. Don't love the sweatiness here, but I think at the prices he represents a bit of value. Now this next one, Ghostwriter, is showing himself off a little bit. He was bought on Monday at the sale, like you heard, for £2 million, and Ammo Racing Team hoping that he can be their first winner of the week. He's pretty consistent at a high level, and he should be able to be competitive at this Group 2 level. Now in behind is 11, that is Sunway, who was too far back at Newbury on his last start. I don't love this behaviour though. They have put the blinkers on for the first time. Essentially the blinkers is just to help them find a little bit of improvement in the run, so they can't necessarily see what's coming up behind them, help them just to really finish their races off. But he looks a touch kind of tucked up to me. He's quite sweaty, he's quite on his toes, so a bit of a negative for Sunway. And who is this? It's number 2, Al Riffer. A lot of people are in the Al Riffer camp today. He's also got blinkers on for the first time. He's been racing at a good level. He won the Großer Preis von Berlin last year in Germany, and I feel like he maybe is just not quite cutting it at Group 1 level, but this should be within his reach.
Will Kia Direction be singing in the rain in a moment or two? Max, come in. Because of your son, Max is the man who bought Ghostwriter just about the other day, isn't he, Kia?
Yeah, there's no pressure on me today, and there's no pressure on any of the bloodstock agents either, so the pressure's on him today. He's, no, listen, we like the horse. Max has been following him for a good few weeks, and Ace liked him, and everyone liked him, so fingers crossed. But it's not about today, it's about what he can achieve in the next couple of years, really. I think he's going to be a very good 4-year-old and a very good, probably get even a stronger 5-year-old.
When you bought the horse, you said you didn't really know who Clive Cox was. Have you met your trainer now?
No, I didn't say I didn't know who Clive Cox was, but that was a very candid way of putting it. I said I have never met Clive Cox. Of course I know who he is, and he's been a fantastic trainer. He's won plenty of fantastic races all over the world, and I have no doubt, he's going to give us a very good time with Ghostwriter.
Max, are you ready for this? This could be the biggest moment in your life, couldn't it, if you've got this right?
Well, we think he can win, and he's a good horse. He showed that last year at York at many different times, so we're confident.
First horses, then football transfers, yeah? Wish you all the best. Good luck.
Very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Palladium has given Ryan Moore plenty of hassle on his way to the start. Ryan having to show all of his skills. Often an awkward position to be in. You don't know if they're going to go up in the air and back on top of you or not, but Ryan got him out onto the track, and he went to post pretty happily eventually, so he did. Palladium. We're going to have a look at Rebels Romance, though, winning at York on his last start. He is the star attraction in this contest. This was a first try for him at 1 mile and 6 furlongs, and he settled really well. William Buick always rides him forward. He was close to the pace when he won a Breeders' Cup. He was up there all the way when he won in Qatar earlier in the year as well, and he battled strongly on this occasion to beat Epic Poet, Sweet William, of course, in the pink colours, who we saw in the Gold Cup during the week. Continuous over on the right, in the middle is Al Sakib, but he kept going really well, Rebels Romance, and we know from watching him around the world, in Hong Kong, in Dubai, in America, he handled really quick ground. He had a hood on him in the parade ring, but he's nice and relaxed at the start, and it would be nice for him to add a Royal Ascot victory to his already impressive CV.
He's an extraordinary horse, Ruby, Rebels Romance. 17 times he's got his head in front. He's a big, imposing type of horse. He's a really proud-looking horse as he walks around there. Obviously, the way that Charlie's horse has been running this week would be a huge concern. But I couldn't give him a negative walking around here. Just over on the far side, I couldn't see from where I am. That's Palladium over there, number 8. He was obviously gave Ryan a bit of a hard time. You wouldn't know it. Butter wouldn't melt in his mouth down here. He's a little bit sweaty. Craig Witherford has got hold of him and given him a reassuring pat on the nose, as you can see. So, yeah, we've seen him, obviously, ran back on the flat the other day at Goodwood. He's been running, obviously, over jumps before that. But, yeah, bizarre, isn't it? He was a bit naughty on the way down, but he's as good as gold down here.
And everything's gone right for the Gosdens really this week. There's a subplot of the trainer's title here at Ascot. It's Aidan O'Brien 5, the Gosdens 5 as things stand. Nicky Henderson actually trained Palladium over hurdles. Back on the flat now with that man, Nicky, who was in the royal procession earlier today. Meg, what an extraordinary horse Rebels Romance is, as Ruby's been explaining, his CV. Bizarre. We read in the paper this morning he'd be the winning most group horse for Godolphin, level with Animo if he wins today. Are you in the Rebels Romance camp or looking elsewhere for a bet?
I have been very much in Rebels Romance camp. Back down to the 1.5 miles is ideal. He loves this type of ground, and he's just a classy act, international star, isn't he? Oh, my butt is just, isn't it so frustrating? We saw Charlie Appleby with a favourite in our last race and he blew out. And it's just one of those things where you don't want to be put off by what's happened this week, but a part of you a little bit is.
He's had 1-2 at Newmarket.
I know, and it's great that he has had a couple of winners elsewhere, but we're concentrating on Ascot here, and if any horse was going to get him out of the trouble, it's going to be one like Rebels Romance, but I'm so torn now.
I think the stable love him already, I mean, for everything that he's done and all the travelling, all the prize money, etc. So were he able to get that winner on the board this week, I think they'd love him even more. But I feel like they're all quite evenly matched here. I feel like there's nothing... Oh, hang on.
What did
Here's
Luke
Palladium. Oh, hang on. There are a few letting themselves down a little bit in terms of antics. He was really messing around. Epic Poet was very sweaty as well. A few others, but this is not a great sign. Jason?
No, not at all. And he's nearly leaning down as if he's going to sort of squat down on the floor, isn't he? With all the boys around him, they have to get him moving and try and get a little bit disorientated and go forward. I think that Al Riffa's a fascinating runner in here for Joseph. He's gone close this week, and he's a classy runner with the blinkers on. He can be relied upon to run his race.
So Jason fancies Al Riffa. Brian, I sense you might agree with him. What price?
Yeah, I think an all-important first-time blinkers might also help the cause for this son of Wotton Bassett. He's very strong in the market. I did see 13-2, 6-1, 11-2. The best price you can get Al Riffa in the ring is 5-1. Rebel Romance was 2-1 this morning, 6-4. Bookmakers momentarily have pushed them out to 13-8. One bookmaker on the rails going 13-8. Two bookmakers, three bookmakers on the rails are trying to get eke the last few quid into the satchels on Rebels Romance. Al Riffa 5-1, Ghostwriter 11-2, and it's 10-1 bar those three.
Had a quick word with Craig Kieswetter and the Candleford team. Craig says Candleford's nearly as old as William Haggis. I actually thought he might run well here because he goes so well fresh and ran well in the race last year. The Haggis team have also got Ala Arce, another old friend, Francesca.
Yeah, and I'm not sure we've seen a 7-year-old win this race for quite a long time, so that would be probably a negative for Candleford and also Rebels Romance, and technically also Ala Arce because he's an 8-year-old, but I think we can definitely forgive him his run last time out at Newbury. He was too far back on not much of a pace, and he's such a solid old yardstick for the team.
Francesca, for that age, for a 7-year-old, we go back to 1923.
Oh, well done, 1923, well done. Do we think there's much tempo here? Because Al Arce, we know, is one that wants to be smothered up and delivered late. Will he get things his way?
Palladium will go, won't he, I think?
By the looks of things, he'll do whatever he wants to. He's not being very easy. Rebels Romance won't be far away. He does like to go forward. Burdett Road, he can go forward as well, but tactics often change with him, so he's a bit of an unknown.
What about the £2 million horse? Ghostwriter hasn't won since he was a 2-year-old.
He hasn't, but last year we saw him finish 3rd in the Eclipse, 3rd in the Juddmonte. He was 5th, beaten only 2 lengths in the Irish Champion Stakes. He had some really solid top-level form last year. He'll have to settle over a new distance today, and that is going to be the difference between him winning or losing.
This is a nice horse, Table Talk.
Yeah, there are many that we haven't seen yet, but Table Talk comes second in his last 2, and I think he's one that could still have a bit of improvement left in the tank.
I think a couple to come forward. Here is Ammo's new purchase. Ghostwriter, all yours, Mark.
Ghostwriter goes towards stall 2 with David Egan in the Ammo Racing purple. Last one moving into line. That's it. They're in the gate and they're off in the Group 2 Hardwicke Stakes. The winners of 62 races between them. Al Riffa is sent on to try and go forward. So too is Palladium pushing up to the inside. Is Space Legend being taken on the inside, run down the hill by Ghostwriter, and Sunway lit up by the headgear is another one who's in the early vanguard, dropping right out the back of the field. Early is Table Talk, and also Al Arce has been taken back, and so too is Burdett Road. But it is now on the inside that Space Legend has got the lead. William Buick is keeping Rebels Romance quite wide. He was keen to get involved early, but he hasn't, and he's going to be quite wide as they go around the turn at Swinley Bottom. So it is Space Legend against the rail, being taken on now by Sunway, who races in second. Ghost Rider is in third, and Rebels Romance will have to be content with a trip round the turn in fourth position, but now in the two path. On the inside, Candleford is racing in fifth. Palladium now shuffled back into sixth. On the inside, Bellum Justum is in seventh. On the outside, Al Riffa is racing in eighth. Quite keen, Burdett Road in ninth. On the outside of Epic Poet, and still Al Azi at the back of the field together with Table Talk. And now they begin to make the climb on towards the halfway point. 6 furlongs to go in the Hardwicke Stakes, and it's still James Doyle and Space Legend who have got the lead. And that lead now has opened up to just over a length to Sunway racing in second, Ghost Rider in third, Rebels Romance towards the outside, still travelling well in fourth. Half a length away, Candleford to the inside in fifth, 4.5 furlongs to go. Palladium is next to the field, then Bellum Justum. On that one's outside is Al Riffa, who tries to make up a little bit of ground. Niggle along next is Epic Poet with Burnett Road. On that one's outside, Ridden for Luck is Al Azi on the inside rail, with Table Talk still in the cheap seats at the back. They're making the turn in, just over 3 furlongs to go, and this race is bubbling up nicely, folks. Around the outside, Rebels Romance now begins to surge. On the inside is Sunway, who tries to hang tough. Palladium is staying on, so too Al Riffa down the wide outside, but William Buick's got a lead of 2 lengths on Rebels Romance. In second now, Al Riffa, and then Sunway. Ghost Rider trying to stay on with Palladium from a long, long way back. Al Azi is staying on, still 3/4 of a furlong to go. Rebels Romance by a length and a half. In second is Al Riffa, in third is Ghost Rider, but it's Rebels Romance. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he is the standard bearer for Godolphin, and he's won the Hardwicke for Charlie Appleby and William Buick. An 18th career success for Rebels Romance, and they don't make them any tougher. Rebels Romance has won. In second came Al Riffa, Al Azi, and Ghost Rider in third, and then from a long way back, Palladium, Sunway, and then on the outside, Table Talk, who made late game together with Al Azi. It's been 3 years since Charlie Appleby has tasted success at this meeting, and his favourite horse, the Standard Bearer, has got him back in the Royal Ascot Winners' Circle.
What a magnificent racehorse. A horse that's won 2 Breeders' Cup turfs. He's won 3 times in Germany. He's won a UAE Derby, a Shima Classic. He's won in Hong Kong, at Glorious Goodwood, in Qatar, and now he has won at Royal Ascot. And Will Buick is going to love this, because he's ridden a winner at Royal Ascot for Charlie Appleby, who has that elusive win. A first win at the Royal Meeting since he had a 1-2 in the big sprint on this day 3 years ago. Magic.
Oh my word, that was incredible. I'm so pleased for the team. If any horse was going to get them out of trouble, it would be a legend like Rebels Romance, wouldn't it? He just is the most phenomenal horse, and you can just see how much it means to Will. But Jason, actually in the race itself, he was handily positioned, and Will wanted to make good use of his stamina turning in for the straight, and he had to be tough because everyone was trying to close on him.
Didn't you say, Ed, that takes him to level with the most winning
13 group wins. Godolphin had 13 group wins with Animo down under.
And of course he's had 18 victories all told. 15 of them have come in stakes company. That is remarkable for him. Ruby did that lovely feature earlier with all his air miles going back and forth and across and over. This was a little jaunt for him down to Ascot.
Yeah, only a couple of hours in the horse box for him today will have seemed like nothing, but look how tough he actually is to the line. Ears flat back, sticks his neck out for William, and he's just the most phenomenal racehorse. 10 furlongs, 12 furlongs, he stayed further last time as well. I think this is his optimum trip. He loves the ground. He has to be a fan favourite as well as a yard favourite.
He has loved the ground, and he's actually encountered a lot of that kind of ground on his travels, and that's probably not helped him in previous starts here. But you feel like he has been on his travels. He's a gelding, he can earn lots of money abroad, but at the age of 7 to be winning a Group 2 at Royal Ascot, it's a phenomenal achievement.
First 7-year-old to do it, Rishi, since 1923. In the paddock, everyone wants to say well done to Charlie Appleby, and I know that Will loves this horse, Rishi. He once described him as an absolute dude.
Well, Ed, you only have to look at William Buick's face. I mean, I don't even have to say anything. Look at the smile on his face. He absolutely adores his horse, like we all do, Will. Obviously, Charlie hasn't been getting the results this week, but you can rely on one horse in that yard.
We had one shot, we had one roll of the dice, one more. And what a partner to have one last shot at with Rebels Romance, you know. Look, he's a dream horse, and you know, any jockey that's fortunate enough in their career to have a horse like Rebels Romance is blessed, and I'm blessed.
I have to say as well, the atmosphere here today has been electric, especially out in the front. And when he hit the line, there was a tremendous roar.
Eruption. He's a fan favourite, of course he is. He travels the world, he's recognised everywhere. He's won more than 10 million in prize money. He's 7, he's been around the block, and he's a top class racehorse. You don't find many top class horses with the will to win like he has. Amazing. He's I always say he always finds a way. We gel well together. He's my best friend.
No more needs to be said, Will. Well done.
Thank you.
6-4 favourite is going to get enormous roar coming in, because for Charlie Appleby, finally, you'll never hear a bad word about Charlie. Everyone in racing likes him. His wife Aisling would have had an agonising wait as well for winner number 16, because winner number 15 was 3 years ago today, as we keep on saying. He must be sick of it. His mum Patricia's here as well. And this, as Will says, was the last roll of the dice this week for Charlie Appleby and Godolphin. Led in by Riazad Ali here. This globe-trotting superstar has won at Royal Ascot, and Charlie Appleby is back winning at the Royal Meeting. And there's Charlie, all smiles. All smiles. David Loader behind him. Matt waiting on the left to speak to him, which will be a nice interview. Hugh Anderson is here, patting Will on the back, who's had a brilliant week, don't forget, because Godolphin have been winning. His ride on Trawlerman, that track record, one of the highlights of the week. He's linked up so well with John Gosden this week. And Charlie's had to watch those winners. He's had to watch Saeed bin Saror winning. Now it's his chance to enjoy the limelight. Typical Charlie, first priority is the horse, washing down his old mate, Rebels Romance. Boom! That's a good boom. This has been a theme this week as well. Ruby, enjoy that.
I did enjoy it. It's a great race to watch too, but you love seeing good horses like him that keep coming back and give everything and win races. I don't think that there'd be too much disappointment with Ghostwriter either. He was really keen down the hill. Obviously Ascot 12 furlongs, you start down the hill and you can see how hard David Egan was having to try to get him back. William Buick had a decision to make before he got to Swinley Bottom. He didn't want to round this bend 3 deep, so he does get in front of Ryan Moore and gets on the tail of Sunway. But it was really good riding then off the bend. Sunway goes by James Doyle, who's in front on the home turn, keeps it really tight. William keeps tight to Sunway. Al Rifa's coming around, Palladium, Ghostwriter, David Egan, and William committed him a long way down. We saw him winning over 1.6 miles at York. You know he stays, and it was catch me if you can, and nobody could get to him. But you just love how he sticks his head down, how he grinds it out, and as hard as Al Rifa tried and Ghostwriter, they were just never getting by him. I mean, he must be a pleasure to ride, a pleasure to train, a pleasure to own, a pleasure to vet to do it.
What a superstar right there. Rebels Romance, getting it done for Charlie Appleby, William Buick, and William might say, that's my best friend, but I feel like the fans here think that he might be their best friend. What a fan favorite. He got a resounding applause. I've got tears and goosebumps. That was amazing.
It's amazing. It's a Group 2. Given all the Group 1s he's won around the world, this horse, Rebels Romance, that lifts him because he's done it at Royal Ascot, and he's done it for that man, Will Buick, who says his best friend.
Racing season is all about picking your place and positioning for tasty combinations. Ooh, one of them and all of them. Just like a sports bet racing multi.
Now with more places. Combine horses to finish top 5, 6, 7 and get bigger odds.
Thank you, waiter.
More places. New from Sportsbet.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Ready to transform your bathroom, kitchen or home interior? The Design Pro team at National Tiles have a free and personalised consultation waiting for you. Whatever your budget or style, we'll help you turn it into something real. Book your free design consultation today.
I partner with Ladbrokes because Form Genius makes getting form easy. Even easier than Peter Moody teaching a horse how to win.
Now pay attention. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. And win. Who threw that?
Form made easy with Ladbrokes. Go, you good thing.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Woodside Park's 2025 stallion roster, introducing Celestial Legend, a Group 1 winning 3-year-old. He claimed victories in both the Doncaster Handicap and the Randwick Guineas. Ben Battle, the globetrotting superstar, is a 3-time Group 1 winner with over 13 million in prize money. Shalar, a sire who continues to impress, now boasting 19 stakes winners. They stand alongside stallions Rich Enough, Foxwedge and Delaware. For inspections or bookings, contact Mark Donamaid today.
You testified that it was a sure thing. So care to explain this? Oh, sorry, that's my lunch. This! The Sportsbet app shows the horse has never even placed at the track.
Okay, I just like the jockey silks.
Order! Let this be a reminder that Sportsbet's racing form is the easiest way to find a winner. Case closed.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
The famous Peter Jackson half-year sale is on now. Up to 50% off select styles with merino wool suits starting at $399. Peter Jackson half-year sale in-store and online now.
Racing season's here, and BS is on the rise already. Now here's the brief.
Bad BS comes in many forms. Example, over-celebrating concrete cowboys.
And beware, the blowing experts.
I've got a podcast.
Yeah, how original. Just get in the cage.
The best tip is to get on the Sportsbet app and dodge the BS this racing season.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
So Will Buick came in on Rebels Romance's back, applauding the crowd, but keen to point to the horse and acknowledge the horse and what he's achieved as well. And we talk about the world getting smaller and international campaigning of horses. Well, Charlie Appleby embodies that, and this horse is exactly that in a nutshell.
Yeah,
he'll go anywhere. He'll always give his all. Hong Kong, America, UK, Germany,
6 countries,
UAE, whatever.
6 countries he's won Group 1 races in.
Unbelievable, and on 2 different surfaces. Just a phenomenal animal. Is William Buick your jockey of the day? We can scan the QR code to cast your vote. So scan that QR code and cast your vote for today's jockey of the day. He's your jockey of the week.
If we were doing a horse of the day.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay, now what's better? Trawlerman or Rebels Romance?
Well, for me, Rebels Romance, without a doubt. I mean, Trawlerman was great, exceptional, but there's something that it didn't tug on my heartstrings, anything like that.
Yeah.
That having seen that horse around the world, that really has got me as that's what I wanted to happen today.
26 lifetime outs, 18 victories, over $12 million in purse money.
Unbelievable.
What is that, like 5 million British pounds?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Well done to Rebels Romance. Jay Mangan, where are you?
Well, guys, I'm down here ahead of our sprint race, and this is an international favour. I want to get you Sotono Rev, but he's currently getting saddled in a box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the French horse, Top Gear, one of 3 coming across from France. He's a dual Group 3 winner. He's dropping back to 6 furlongs. He's a 7-time winner, and he's trained in France by Chris Head. You'll notice the shine off him. He's a dark bay, almost black colt, but he is sweating quite profusely. He's wet all over as if he's been washed down. But that is sweat. That is a paddock negative. That is Top Gear ahead of our next Group 1.
Well, Royal Ascot is always a day out for the family, and alongside me is a beautiful two young girls with their mums on a day out at Royal Ascot. Girls, firstly, you look absolutely beautiful. Are we looking forward to a big day?
Yes, I'm so excited. It's my first Royal Ascot, so it's really busy and amazing, and there's so much to see.
Amazing, a first Royal Ascot. Is it your first Royal Ascot as well?
Yes, it is.
And girls, you're looking stunning. I'm loving the pops of colour you're bringing to this sunny day. Talk me through your outfits and how long it took you to plan.
So this dress is from Elaine Bernstein, and it was actually tailored to fit me. The shoes are from Vinted, the bag is from Vinted, and then my hat is from Camilla Rose Millinery.
Amazing, you know it all. How long have you been planning it? Has it been in the works for a long time?
Yes, it's been in the works for a long, long time. Ever since I heard that I'm going to Royal Ascot, I was like, okay, I need to plan my outfits.
When you heard you were coming to Royal Ascot, what did you say? What was your reaction?
I was very, very excited because I've been to Champions Day, but I've never been to actual Royal Ascot. And parents were telling me it's so different and it's so amazing and there's so much to see, and I was just so excited.
Well, you've got so much to look forward to. And Isla, how about you? Beautiful in yellow. Tell me about your outfit.
So I made my dress. It took me a few days, but I really wanted to make my own dress because I thought this is like the definition of me in a dress, because like I'm really bold and bright and colourful. I made my hat because I wanted to try something new because I've never made a hat before, and then I got my shoes from Vinted and my bag I'm borrowing from my mum.
That's incredible. Where did you learn to make a beautiful dress like this?
So I've been sewing for like a few years now, and I go to like classes near me sometimes to like learn how to sew, and it's really nice.
Well, you look amazing. I'm just going to have a quick chat to the mums, Ruth and Sarah. Ladies, you must be so proud of these two girls on their first day at Royal Ascot, and they just look so wonderful.
They do. I mean, even just getting up, well, you FaceTimed each other this morning, and there was a lot of giggling and, oh my gosh, look at each other's like outfits. There was a lot of mutual admiration, but they've been planning it together for a long time, and then skipping up from the station. It just makes your heart melt. I can't tell you, I'm so proud. So it's so lovely.
That's part of it, isn't it? The excitement and the looking forward to the day. How long do you think this has been in the works for?
Well, I think for a very long time as their mums, but I think they knew about it last year, but they've been planning their outfits for so many weeks and months, and we're so proud of them, aren't we? They're just going to look gorgeous all day.
Well, girls, you've smashed it. You all look wonderful. I hope you have a gorgeous first day at Royal Ascot, and have a beautiful day, guys.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, a real family day at Royal Ascot. It often is now racing for this man as well. See more and more his family on course. It's something he touched upon when he won the Guineas earlier on this year. Wife Jane and kids Thomas and Oscar, often there by his side, particularly those weekends for obvious reasons. And he said how all these top level wins, Michelle, he's really trying to savour for that reason, to have his young family there with him, and it seems to be meaning the world to him. We're really seeing that on his face at the moment.
Well, also talking about children, we just saw another fashion designer earlier on at LK Bennett. We saw a blooming fashion designer. I feel like the future of fashion is very safe.
Imagine that. I made my dress. Incredible.
And I tried to make my hat this year.
Yeah.
What are you going to make?
You need to try
year?
harder. No. Next year, one day.
I will make my own hat next year. Are you going to make your own morning suit?
I might make a tie. I mean, I probably won't. Let's find Jay.
I could probably knit you one.
One of the highest rated sprinters anywhere in the world. This is the first time the British public here in Royal Ascot will get to see Satono Rev. With over 2.6 million in prize money, 8 races to his name, Japan seek their first winner at the Royal Meeting. This is the horse that was second to Ka Ying Rising at Hong Kong. He's a Group 1 winner in his native Japan, and he's a sizey, scopy colt. He walks really easily, freely, good mover. From his ear to tail, there's great scope and length. He is warm. You can see him sweating between his hind legs and on his neck, but it is quite a warm day. The rain has gone and the humidity is back. Joe Moreira will get the leg up. This is your favourite for the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. That is the horse they all have to beat.
Coming back there, looking at him, that horse looks phenomenal. You heard Jane mention that big, long, scopy body. You can just see it, even if you're not an expert on horseflesh. You can see the way he walks with such ease. He has almost a swagger to him, but he's not nervous at all. Even though he's sweating, he's not acting like he's tipsy.
And it's almost like he walks from the
from
rear.
the behind, yes.
From the power.
That's very
in his
good
behind.
observation,
But,
Tom.
you know, others you see, you know, horses that get longer distances,
Mm-hmm.
when they walk purposefully forward from the front and they almost pull themselves forward. He looks as though he's going to project himself forward
Yes,
from the back.
he's reaching very much with his back end and really utilizing that to push himself forward. So Tono Reeve there will try to make the first winner for Japan at Royal Ascot.
Incidentally, the Japanese-owned Al Riffer has been confirmed. He's going to line up in the King George. That is at the end of July. And that is one of the next instalments in the Crown Jewels Racing programme, the King George. We'll be here for that, very much looking forward to it. And that is where we will see Al Riffer. Good luck to Satono Rev. Let's have a look at the runners for our third contest, the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. We have Anaf for Mick Appleby, Ross Orion, winner of the Saudi Sprint. That was a couple of years ago. Hasn't been quite in the same form since. Elite status is a 22-to-1 shot, Grand Grey. I can make a case for number 4, Iberian, on the run in Ireland last time. We saw Inisherin Michel win at the meeting last year, number 5.
Yeah, I like him. Perfect 1-for-1 at Ascot, a 4-time winner of his 8 lifetime outs. James's Delight was a non-runner in here. Next one through will be Jassur. Blinkers coming on today. He was 10th in the kink stand earlier this week. Lazat then, one of the French entrants. I'm not sure if he's the same horse as he was at 3, but if he is, he could be a force to be reckoned with, Tom.
Very much so, and Run to Freedom for Henry Candy. The Yard are in much better form this year. Sajir, another French raider for André Fabre and Usheen Murphy, and there is Satono Rev's colours. A 2-to-1 favourite now.
Do you believe that he outran a car now that you've seen him?
I'd like to know the make and model of the car and what speed it was doing. I like the sentiment that he outran a car.
Stormboy through next. This horse was a force to be reckoned with in Australia, but after being repurchased by Coolmore, he just hasn't been the same horse. He was very disappointing in his return to the UK. So You Think and Star Spangled Banner, both Aussie horses to come to Ballydoyle and be successful here. Rumor has it they paid upward of $20 million for him.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but he didn't come with the same rating that Star Spangled Banner did. Jury's out on whether he is good enough. We saw Top Gear there. He's got a very good chance. And there is Night Eyes completing the lineup at a stall 14 for David O'Mara and Danny Tudhoe.
Yes, thank you, Richard. A truly international race. Irish horse, English horses, French horses, and the Japanese raider tops the market from being 7-2 this morning. To Tono Rev is 2-1 clear favourite with Dragon Bet. Inisherin, seriously well fancied by his trainer, who's been hitting the crossbar all week. 4-1 won at this Royal meeting last year. Kevin Blake's fancy, Top Gear, a Group 1 winner in waiting. Kevin thinks the son of Wootton Bassel, 11-2. Lazat, I don't know what's happened to that horse, but he's taking a right walk in the market from 5-2, 3-1. Now look, 6.5-1. Lazat, Stormboy, also very weak for Aidan O'Brien, and Floor of Bermuda 16-1, and it's a pony 25-1 bar.
Now, it's quite difficult to line out all the different form lines in this race, so let's see how they look physically. Now, this is Stormboy, who's having his second run over in this part of the world. His debut in Ireland didn't really go to plan. He was quite a disappointing beaten favourite that day. But his Australian form is pretty good before that. Not top level, but pretty good. Aidan O'Brien won this race with Merchant Navy from Australia before, and I don't know, Stormboy, he is very warm here. He's a big strong boy, but I'd have to see something a bit more from him before you'd have confidence in backing him. Now, this is number 11, Satono Rev, the Japanese sprinting sensation, and officially he would have to be the best horse in the field. Coming second to Ka Ying Rising in Hong Kong, that's really good form because he is the best sprinter in the world. He's a lovely type, isn't he? He's really strong. Japan, known probably more for their middle distance horses, but this one, as a son of Lord Kanaloa, is definitely bred for the job, and I have to say he looks really well. Different thing for him that he's going to have to overcome is that he would never have run down a straight track like this. However, he is definitely happy on the good to firm conditions, which I don't think all of these necessarily would be. Number 16 is Night Eyes, who is one of the outsiders. So let's keep going, find some more fancied horses. This is Sajir, who was second to Top Gear last time out of a 7 furlong, so down a bit in trip, but a stiff 6 furlongs at Ascot, rides a little bit more like a 7 furlongs. He won the Abernathy at Newmarket at the start before that, trained by master trainer Andre Fabre, and he does look really well. Number 4's got a bit more length about him. This is Iberian. He's been beaten in lesser races. Billy Loughnane takes the reins for the first time. Looks in good nick, but I think he's going to need a career best performance here. Number 2 is Elite Status, who's got lots of ability. It wasn't a bad return at York last time out, and he, as always, from the stable is beautifully turned out. 9 is Run to Freedom. He'll be, again, one of the bigger prices here, although he can pop up and run a very good race, second in the July Cup at 28 to 1. He looks really well. 13, this is Top Gear, who actually, when you look in the book, he's described as black. This is quite rare, and I can confirm he is really very black and very impressive looking. Getting quite warm, a bit sweaty, is Top Gear, and he's in good form, having won his last 3. I wonder if he potentially wants a bit further. He has gone 7 furlongs and a mile. I don't love his feet. He's clearly had a lot of filler put on his feet, which always suggests that they're struggling just to get the shoes on and keep him completely sound. Number 1 is Anaf, who'd be another one of the bigger price chances. He's been quite good on his travels, but this is going to test him at this level. Oh, Jamie Spencer's just hopped on board. A rather excited Grand Grey as he heads out. I haven't shown you Flora Bermuda, but I can confirm that she looks really well, and I think she's got a good chance at a big price. Now, number 8, Lazat, I do want to show you him. Was quite short in the betting, but I think he's gone out a little bit. He, a bit like the other French horse, can go further. He's also been on his travels before and done well in Australia. He's trained by Jérôme Renier. And another thing that I'm not so sure about with him is that you look through the form and there's no good to firm form when you look through it. However, in France, when they give their official ground description, they don't often give it as firm, and some people say it's not always that accurate, so maybe we shouldn't read into that too much. He's nice, he's relaxed, he's a good looking horse.
Well, Sheikh Mohammed Obeid's colours carried both by Elite Status and Intenational. And Sheikh Mohammed Obeid, great to see you. Of course, you won with Intenational in the Commonwealth Cup last year. How hopeful that you can win another Group 1 at Ascot?
Well, I have to have a chance at least, with 2 running, I can't guarantee, but they are good horses. I never say, only in Shannon. Elite Status also good. If he good his stride, he will win.
Inisherin came back well this season, but Elite Status has always promised to win a good race.
Don't compare him, when he ran on soft ground. He doesn't like soft ground. If you think, he won 2 races in Newbury, very firm ground, and he broke twice the record.
So the ground could be key.
Yes.
And Sheikh Mohammed Obeid, you won so many big races. You won the Derby, but not all our viewers will know that effectively you are the owner of the great Dubawi.
Yes. It's Dubawi is. I had them in the dolphin color, but it's mine. Whatever they asked me to run him in their color, and then I said okay. But it is mine. Yeah.
We wish you all the best today. Good luck, sir.
Good luck. Thank you.
So Francesca pointed out in the ring there that Satono Rev has never raced around a bend because Hanshin, Hakodate, Sapporo, Chukyo, Shatin and Nakayama are all bend 6 furlong tracks, but that wasn't lost in the Japanese either, because this fella has been working at Newmarket on the July course, and was Ryan Moore who rode him on this occasion. So they have tried to prepare for what he faces this afternoon. He is rock solid form, and he will love the quick round.
And I think if you gave Nick Smith, the director of racing here at Ascot, one wish this week, it would be for Satono Rev to win and the Japanese to finally get that Royal Ascot winner. It's such a big thing, keeping the foreign runners coming, particularly Japan, with Whirlpool and so on. He's been very heavily backed. Best price 9-2 this morning with a couple of firms. Bet 365, Ladbrokes amongst them, and that's a nice touch. Typical Aidan O'Brien. And if any horse is going to blow the race apart, it might be this horse.
It could well be. I mean, his form back at home is very good. I mean, he's been running in behind Kaiying Rising, who is arguably probably the best sprinter in the world at the moment. It is a different test to stiff 6 furlongs on a straight track, but we've just seen him obviously galloping at Newmarket, getting a bit of experience in doing that. And he was a good looker in the paddock, Jason, probably a little bit sort of rangier and longer through the back than necessarily the European sprinters we're used to seeing. But he did take your eye, and his form at home is very good.
He's got the magic man on board today, hasn't he, Joe Moreira. Now, always remember, Alan Munro was a wonderful, wonderful rider. And I said to him, who's the best jockey you've ever ridden against? And he said that Joe Moreira, on his home patch when he was in Hong Kong, he said he should have been carrying a £5 penalty. He was so good. He really was. And he broke all sorts of records over there. Fascinating for him getting the leg up here, because this lad, you're right, Ed, he is the one in here, and the punters have latched on. Ryan rode him in that bit of work that we saw as well up at Newmarket. They've latched onto him, haven't they?
They have, big time. It's going to be so interesting to see how he gets on, and this is a meeting where more than 180 territories watch. The world is watching Royal Ascot, none more than this race, a proper global contest. But Jason, we want to find the winner. What's your selection?
Well, if you're shying away from him at the top of the market, you need something at an each-way price. Now, we've heard, how often have we heard that Aidan say they're just ready to start? And I know Francesca's not going to be happy here, but Aidan won this race with a horse called Merchant Navy a good while ago, who came back from Australia to be over here, and he's trying to do the same with Storm Boy.
But Merchant Navy won on his debut, didn't he, in the Greenlands in Ireland, which is the same race that Storm Boy ran in, and he finished last. Now look, Aidan, as we know, can really turn horses around, so in Aidan we trust with Storm Boy, but it's not really enough evidence for me to back him with confidence.
He's got some strong form down under, which would match up to our sprinters at least, so he's a no from Francesca, he's a yes from me.
What price the Japanese horse, Brian?
Satona Rev was, as you said, Ed, 9-2, 4-1, 7-2, 3-1, 11-4, 5-2, now 9-4. Some bookmakers calling 2-1 Satona Rev in the ring. Inisharan is also strong, the good opposition, 4-1, 7-2, now 3-1. The best price along the rails, Lazat, few quid laid on, the 6-1 drying up back into 5-1, 11-2, and Top Gear in the last 3-4 minutes, having been as low as 11-2, is now back out to 8-1.
Yeah, and he's a big drifter on the exchanges, Brian, as well, Top Gear. The late money is for Inisharan. He's very warm on the exchanges. Now he's coming in for some good support.
Santono Rev then just been trotted round by Joe Moreira just to keep him so he doesn't stiffen up, but he's a magnificent looking horse. He's quite a long backed horse, but he just looks typical speed. As he's walking around here, he's not getting at all flustered given where he's come from and the totally new surroundings. He's got his ears pricked, he's looking about himself, and it's a real pleasure to have a horse like him here. It really is. It makes the meeting for me. And yeah, he's going to be bouncing out of stall 16, so he'll be coming right down that stand side. Look at him standing there majestically. The loading process then is underway. Here's Ryan Moore this side, Storm Boy going forward. They should be loading pretty quickly. There's 4 to go in late though.
Now, Meg Nichols, you fancy one strong here, don't you?
Yeah, Inisharan. He stood out in the paddock for me. He's an absolute bull. I thought he looked amazing. He'll have taken a massive step forward from his return at York following a wind operation where Kevin Ryan felt he was very much in need of that run. He won the Commonwealth last year. I think he's got everything in his favour. Back at a stiff 6, and Kevin Ryan is really, really confident.
Why the horse in the red cap, the Wathman horse? Why he's almost doubled in price earlier on?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it, with Lazat. Now, I suppose everybody's looking at the international form that he's got, and is it that strong? You tell me about the Australian form.
Well, actually, just staying on the French form, it's funny because when you look through it, he's never seen ground firmer, well, good to firm ground, and Timeform are giving this ground as firm the last couple of days, but do the French always give accurate ground readings? That's the question a little bit.
I suppose it might put them off a little bit that the French have struggled pretty much all week.
That's the task they will face, the 6 furlong track in front of them. There's Satono Rev on the right. Hajim Satomi, the owner, good luck to everyone involved. Back to you, Luke.
Sajir has been taken out. He was in the stalls, loaded absolutely fine, get in there, and then he just started kicking out. He's absolutely fine. He's literally just got, whether he got claustrophobic or what happened, but he was kicking out fiercely. And you see Oshie Murphy was off on standing on side as quick as ever. But the main thing is he's fine.
So no Sajir, desperate luck for Andre Fabre. The French challenge is purely Lazat then. Last one coming forward will be Flora of Bermuda. Let's hand over to our big race caller, Richard Holes.
Flora of Bermuda completes the 14-strong field now, with Sajir being taken out for the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes, the Old Sprint Group 1 of the meeting, and they fly out of the stalls. Grand Grey jump better than normal. Flora of Bermuda leads over towards the far side. Lazat and Inisherin are prominent, and also going forward Storm Boy. Satono Rev in the green and yellow colours will race stand side just behind the leaders with Grand Grey, who races in 5th. Elite Status and Night Eyes a midfield with Anaf towards the tail early on. Iberian Jasur and held up as well towards the back of the field. Great Generation. So out in the lead over on the far side, it is Lazat who takes the field along, attended by Top Gear in the white armlets, then Inisherin. Grand Grey just behind the Speed Run to Freedom. The near-sided Storm Boy being shadowed by Satono Rev, who moves to the left-hand side under Joe Moreira and tries to improve as they head down towards halfway. Lazat leads over on the far side with Top Gear and Inisherin. Satono Rev improving on the near side for Japan, given a shake of the reins by Joe Moreira to come after Lazat. France leads from Japan. Lazat and Satono Rev as they enter the final furlong. Lazat still has the lead, but Satono Rev is still throwing down the challenge. Lazat holding on, however, from Satono Rev. Lazat out in front will turn away the Japanese raider. Lazat won the QE2 from Satono Rev. Flora Bermuda behind those Night Eyes. Jasur rattled through with Iberian. Inisherin was next to cross the line with Run to Freedom all the way back to Anaf and Top Gear. Lazat, another winner on the week for Wothnan. They're 5th. Jerome Renier and James Doyle team up and repel Satono Rev as France saw off Japan. The pair pulling clear. Wothnan in 3rd as well with Flora of Bermuda. Big run by Night Eyes, who's come home in 4th place. Jasur rattled home to possibly just miss 5th with Iberian. Inisherin found it all happening too fast. Lazat, weak in the market, has hit the line strongly, returned at 9-2, drifted to 6-1 10 minutes before the off, but it is Lazat who turned away the persistent challenge of Satono Rev.
Some week for Wothnan, a 5th winner, and they've now had 1st and 3rd in the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. When we pick it up, it's a clash between two countries, Jason, that have never won this race. The red cap for France, over on the right, the Japanese Satono Rev.
And you're asking who has had the best run in, because they seem fairly equal. There was a smaller group up towards the stand-side rail, maybe 3-4 runners, I feel that it was, and you thought that the launch from the Japanese raider was coming, but Doyler had committed and maybe just pinched a little advantage.
I think you're right. He got a slightly better lead into the race, and Satono Rev really had to kick away from his small group, which he did. He showed a really good acceleration, but just wasn't quite enough to catch Lazat. Lazat, we know, can stay further, so they're able to really kick him on and use his stamina going to the line. Watch Flora of Bermuda when we watch another replay. She ran on well to finish 3rd, having been buffeted around a little bit, but the first two have put a good few lengths on the 3rd.
First 2 miles clear, Jason.
Yeah, we've got Flora Bermuda puts a real good solid level to the form, if you like, back in 2nd spot, but she's produced. Inisherin didn't produce. He was flat out from some way down, possibly ground, I don't know.
I'm not sure, but he was really disappointing, a bit gutted about that. He was a strong fancy of mine, but isn't it so good that our international runners, for the French, they've had a frustrating week. The ground's been too quick for so many of their runners. This horse, Lazat, has handled it well, back down to a stiff 6 furlongs, not a problem, and Doyler was making sure he was going to make it a test on the front end, and he committed nice and early.
It's Wothnan celebrating again, and what a difference a couple of days makes. Jerome Renier, we read his quotes this morning, absolutely fuming off the ride that Factor Cheval got earlier in the week, and now the horse is loose, Lazat. Hopefully James Doyle is okay. Clearly still full of beans and setting off down towards Swinley Bottom. James Doyle celebrating. Let's see what happened.
Oh no, the sheet. Oh, he's had a howler with the sheet. It's not a matador. That wasn't a matador moment.
Well, I didn't expect to do a walk-back interview like this with James Doyle. But James, you were just caught unaware while celebrating, was that right?
Yeah, his trainer flashed the sheet at him and he whipped round. But yeah, well, what can you say? I can't take any credit for this at all. Jerome and his team, Christian told me all about him. His jockey from before, his young jockey in France, did a great job bringing him through the ranks. He also rode him in Australia when he ran such a good race in the Golden Eagle. So we had all bases covered, and I have to say Jerome was very confident, very confident. He said all week, don't worry about the ground, everything's fine. We mapped the pace out in the race and we just thought, if I end up leading, I end up leading. He said, don't worry, he won't stop. So it worked out perfect.
Could you keep an eye? Could you know that Staturday Rev was coming at you all the time?
Oh yeah, I could feel him coming all right, yeah. I could feel him coming, but he won't get a more genuine horse than this. He really pinned his ears back when he joined me, and he was always going to fend him off.
This is a cracking week for you. I think you've equalled your best Royal Ascot tally, okay. And the smile on your face as you rode that first winner has been there all week.
Yeah, I mean, it does help when you get a double on the first day. That does make things you can just relax into it. It doesn't take. If I had £1 for every time someone said to me, "Oh, that's it, the pressure's off," but like, it's completely the opposite, you know. Especially with this fella today, I thought he was my banker of the week, which I feel a bit guilty because we've obviously only picked the horse up a couple of weeks ago, and obviously I landed on him. But I have to say a huge thank you to all the team, Christian, the young boy over in France, whose first name I'm not sure, Omani I think his surname is. He's ridden him through his career, and obviously Jerome. So big thanks to everyone.
Well, I'm going to let you go, and hopefully he'll be back soon and we can locate him somewhere in the wilds of Berkshire. People need to be very careful. You've seen how far away he is. This is some lap of honour, by the way. Feels like it's at the Olympics. There aren't too many people to cheer him, and just people need to be careful.
I think luckily he seems quite a laid-back type. He obviously got spooked by the sheet, and he got rid of his jockey and thought, well, I'm going to go for a little canter. But he's not going flat out, Meg, is he? He's fine. He's just having a little hack around looking for his mates.
No, but I don't know if it was one of the groundsmen or team from the veterinary or what, but someone just tried to grab him when he broke back to a walk or trot, and he was having absolutely none of it. Sort of whipped round again and off he goes. Hopefully he'll meet up with James Doyle fairly shortly.
And what I was explaining just before then about the trainer, after Prince of Wales described Flavien Prat's ride of Factor Cheval as the worst ride given to one of my horses. He'll be a happier man now.
Well, here's Joe Moreira, the Magic Man, nearly pulled off every magic trick there, Joe. You must have thought you might get there.
Yeah, no doubts about it. We went into the race with a lot of confidence. The horse was feeling so well with himself. Unfortunately, we bumped into a very good horse today, which halfway through I thought I had him done, but he just had another kick, kept attacking the line. I was closing up the gap, but you know, we just bumped into a good horse today, and I still got to say, my horse ran really well, and I can't complain about it.
You know how important it is for everyone at Ascot that a Japanese horse does really well here, because they want more and more of the international competition. In many ways, Lazat was the one horse you wouldn't have wanted there, would he? Because he stays really strongly.
Well, his form indicates that he's been winning very impressively at his home ground. But you know, everyone else traveling here, we thought we had a really good crack, and unfortunately we bumped into a really good horse. As I said, I just can't complain. My horse tried his very best.
And you are the Magic Man. You ride all around the world. Everyone wants you on their horse. Give us just an idea for you of riding in front of this great crowd, this great grandstand.
First of all, there is no magic. There is hard work into it, you know. It's always a pleasure being involved into such a really amazing festival like this one. Unfortunately, I didn't have many other options, opportunity to riding other horses in other races as well. But had a chance to ride Saturday Rev in the sprint. We ran second. Of course, it's not the best of the results, but I still got to be happy with that.
Very well done. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
So more help is coming. James Doyle, of course, the winning jockey, can't weigh in because the saddle is still on the winner, Lazat. Talking of jockeys, Mick's race for the French. Poor old Sagir pulled out. Desperate luck for the André Fabre team. Stéphane Pasquier spoke to us after Top Gear's performance in the race. He said both front shoes went flying. So the horse had no chance from early in the race, which is bad luck for Christopher Head. And that's why you need to be careful. We'll keep you posted on what's happening here. In the meantime, Ruby, the front two pulled away clear.
They did. Lazat is having some laugh at everybody in Ascot, isn't he? They did pull some way clear, and it's probably because it wasn't frantically run early. They went a decent enough gallop. James Doyle broke in the middle. Ryan Moore elected to go forward on the left then on Stormboy, and Joe Moreira got right into Ryan Moore's slipstream. But it was a pretty even and fair race for everybody. They blitzed along to the 5, and then we flick over to the wire camera. There was no hard luck story, but it's what Joe Moreira does in the green. He's going to switch out from behind Ryan Moore when they go through between the 3 and between the after the fourth furlong, which was the quickest furlong of the race. He switches and joins Ryan, and watch how these two horses actually quicken up Lazette and Santano Rev. They pulled so far away from the others, and they had a finishing speed percentage of 103%, which is quite unusual for a sprint. Usually they slow down dramatically in the last furlong, but these two horses didn't. They ran 11.13 for the 5th furlong, and the winner Santano Rev ran 11.86 in the final furlong. The winner ran 11.81, so those 500ths of a second were the difference between winning and losing. But for sprinters to hit the line as quick as they did, we were treated to two very good sprinters here in Ascot this afternoon.
Well, here's Richard Brown and Ollie Tate, such strong forces in the Wathnan crew. Richard, a Group 1 for Wathnan at Royal Ascot. This is what you wanted to do, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the pinnacle. It's been an amazing week so far. Every winner you cherish. It's very, very hard to win here, as you know. That is just phenomenal. Also because it was just a great horse race. You know, he's hooked up with a Japanese horse, and they've gone a long way clear in the 6th furlong race. It was amazing to watch.
He's a really good sprinter, this horse. When did you decide that he was kind of what Wathnan wanted?
So actually, we first had conversations here with, Nerlin Bizikoff and fair dues to him. He bred this horse. There's a lot of the family. Had our first conversations last April, so it's been going on a while. I think when he won on his second start, he looked very impressive in France. Did it in a very good time, and the division looked like it could be open, and that there was potentially a horse to go to the top, and he luckily has.
And we should point out that this horse started off, I think, over 7.5 furlongs, and this is only the second time he's ever raced at 6 furlongs, so it opens up a whole new avenue.
Yeah, very much so. Like, that was one of the things we really wanted to focus on, was we just felt that straight track, 6 furlong, stiff 6 here would be ideal. Obviously, where we go from here, I don't know, but for me, it's going to be 6 and 7. And he is, he's a very, very talented horse.
The big prize at York over 7, is that in the back of your mind?
Maybe, yeah, it could be. I think the great thing now with that becoming a Group 1, there are a lot of options. There's Maurice de Geest, there's plenty of options now over 6 and 7, and I think he'll be versatile between the two.
And just a quick word on your jockey, James Doyle.
Yeah, who's just fallen off there.
Well, no, that was earlier. They're just showing a replay, but horse is loose. Okay. He's absolutely fine, but he's proved to be a gem. Not surprisingly.
He's world class. Been a huge admirer of him from afar for a long time. Very early in the operation, I said to Ollie, if we were going to have horses in different places, we needed a world-class jockey on our side. We went to him, we got him. Brilliant jockey, brilliant guy, team player. He sits in all these meetings where we're discussing what we're buying and looking at form and analysing it all. He's just a massive part of our team.
Great news is the horse has been caught safely. As we go back to the team, congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Well, that's good news. James Doyle was stood there, wasn't he? A horse, my kingdom for a horse.
No
but they got him.
one seemed very upset that he was loose running around. I mean, he was seen in Slough. He was on his way to London.
Honestly, he was near a wood end. There's a lovely pub called the Duke of Edinburgh in Wingfowl. I wondered if that's where he was off to, but they've got him. That's good news. Poor guy. I mean,
poor guy. He did it himself. People that don't say horses don't like to run. I don't know. You might want to try him over the 1.5 miles next. he didn't seem very tired at all. He went all the way to the top of the hill, back down, all the way back up. This could be a time that ponies would be beneficial.
But look, yes, I tell you what, in the States he'd have been caught a good bit quicker than that.
You saw the car was driving along and people were getting in and out trying to catch him, but a horse would have been able to get to him a little quicker.
Well, that was a success. Richard Brown and the Wathnan team, James Doyle, Jerome Renier before the unfurling of the sheet. Well, that was after.
and all of them. Just like a sports bet racing multi.
Now with more places. Combine horses to finish top 5, 6, 7 and get bigger odds.
Thank you, waiter.
More places. New from Sportsbet.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
The Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes has just taken place and it's gone to Lazat. We are yet to have any kind of celebration ceremony post-weigh-in.
We don't have a horse.
Because we don't have Lazat yet. Because, just a reminder of what happened, we had the unfurling of the sheet, which meant that he unshipped James Doyle, and they are still waiting to be reunited.
Now, you're kind of making fun of the unfurling of the sheet, but watching this horse as they tried to apprehend him 3 or 4 times, he looks like he's a little touchy of an individual, because when the, I don't know who it was, came and tried to grab him, you saw him turn, and when he touched him near the haunches, he kicked out and tried to strike the guy that was catching him. So when the sheet came over and it was coming towards his back end, he could just be a horse that doesn't like to have anything touching him back there and got a little squirrely.
Okay, Jane, we're watching currently the very normal procedure post Group 1 of James Doyle getting in a car and going to find his horse.
Most unusual, but that's the beauty of live television, guys. Live sport. The key is he fell off after the line and not before it. So here we are ahead of the Jersey Stakes, a Group 3 upcoming, and we'll get a look at some of the opposition. This is number 8, over from Ireland for Ger Lyons. One Smack Mac was a non-runner 2 weeks ago at Leopardstown because of rain softened ground. He won't get that here. It's good and quick. There he goes. 1 from 6. He's rated 103 and he's the mount of Colin Keane. Coming towards us, it looks like it's number 10. This is Remuse for Owen Burrows, who's already had a horse called Amnat run really well here on the second day. This guy's 2 from 2, unbeaten. He's the son of Blue Point, who was a dual winner here at the Royal Meeting. He's a very strong looking horse, albeit he's not a big walker. Just coming to our left, Jack, we catch up the Red Hood. This is the Gosden horse. This is Spy Chief. We heard from Thady Gosden commenting on this horse earlier. Beautifully turned out, only having his 4th career start. He has to step up from what he did at Yarmouth, but he cost 750 grand as a yearling, so understandably he's got the looks to match. Coming towards us here is number 14, Yeah Mo Be There for Richard Spencer. An official rating of 99 tells us he has to improve, but he was good when he won at Newbury. He didn't land a blow in the Newmarket 2,000 guineas behind ruling court, and he's looking a little bit warm and lethargic here. He's got the red hood on to keep him nice and relaxed. Behind him again, one Smack Mac. We'll skip him again and we'll go down to number 3. The grey horse coming towards us is Caburn. For Jack Jones, a huge run for him and for Dylan Hogan, who's riding him. He won at Salisbury and Newbury last year, but he was found wanting in listed company last time. He would need a career best to get in the 3. Behind him is number 2. That is Brian, well named Brian, 2 from 9 in his career. He's rated 101. He was well behind Big Mojo in the pavilion. He needs to step up. The top horse behind him, number 1, the Raphael Freire. Amo Racing would love to have a winner here. This is Benevento. He's 2 from 6. He's rated 108. He was 10th in the Guineas. He really needs to up his game from that performance. We catch number 5 coming towards us here. This is the German horse. He was placed 3rd in the German 2,000 Guineas. He's not a big horse, but he's lovely and relaxed. This is Dijari. He's 2 from 6, and we will see him in the main ring. He's dropping down to 7 furlongs here from the mile, and one more we'll get a look at. This is Comanche Brave for Donnacha O'Brien. Not a big horse, but placed behind Henri Matisse in the Leopardstown Guineas trial. He was well beaten 5th behind Fields of Gold in the Irish Guineas. That is a few of our main protagonists for the Jersey Stakes. They're heading to the main ring. You'll find me there.
Thanks, Jane. Here's where we'll find James Doyle. So he's going to get his saddle because he needs to weigh in.
Is he still smiling?
It's unorthodox. He'll be happy enough. He's not going to ride in the next, but I'm not sure we'll see Lazat in the winners area. We don't need to, do we? He's been out there a long time, so it might just be a process now. But they can't start really proceedings for the next race, which is the Jersey Stakes, and horses coming in until we are officially done with the preceding race. So we have officials coming in, Tom, and they're telling people to stop moving, and I don't know who's coming through. I don't know if it's James or the horse coming through here. James, okay. Yeah, here he comes. Here it comes. Lee Modstead and Graham Clark are the journalists just either side. And this is so strange. We've got the fanfare for James. We've got the fanfare for James not on horseback, which is just, it feels quite amusing.
So now, what are they going to do with the horse now? I guess they had to just walk him back to the receiving barns and head back to his yard.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because, as I say, he's done a lot of running around. He'll have been a bit confused by the whole process. But yes, he has been announced back in James Doyle. This will be a first for him. And he's ridden the winner of this before. He rode the Blue Point Double a few years ago when William Buick was injured and couldn't ride.
Oh, here he is, the horse.
The horse
on the screen.
I think the horse
they put the blanket on him.
Oh, they put the blanket
on him.
That's good. Carefully, I would hope.
With 2 handlers.
Yes, and now James has come back into the winner's enclosure. He's had a pick of grass and a bucket of water thrown over him. And he's fine. He's had a pat. And all is well, so that's good news. Now we will make it official, and we will kick on with our next. Okay, where's Ali?
Well, to complete the Royal Meeting experience, racegoers can come into one of the number of shops around the site to pick up a memento, and they literally have something for everyone. Something for the kids. You can get a Royal Ascot soft cuddly horse, you've got key rings, you've got scarves. Definitely don't need that this week. There's loads and loads of branded clothing, and what's this? Okay, an Ascot water bottle. Excuse me, what's been popular this week? I imagine water bottles have been pretty popular.
Water bottles and fans as well have been very popular.
Fans, here we go. Here's an Ascot fan. Did you have some different ones earlier in the week?
We did. We had some ones with Royal Ascot on them, which were lovely.
But they sold out, presumably?
Have been sold out, obviously.
So fans and water bottles, very popular this week with a mini heatwave going on. Look at these. You can get biscuits, Royal Ascot biscuits. Take those home. Little top hats full of delicious chocolates, more biscuits. There is literally a present for anyone here. And I've come into the Ascot shop in the Royal Enclosure, which is a little bit special because Lock & Co are here, and they're measuring people's heads, and they're fitting hats, and they're polishing hats. David, come and talk to me. What have we got here? We've got lots of equipment.
So we have the conformator here, which is takes 1/6 the size of your head shape, and it'll take the exact shape of your head.
And then it's possible to fit the perfect silk top hat.
Yes, it is, because then it will. So sometimes it pinches on the front or the side of people's heads, but this conformator will do it exactly to the shape, so it fits perfectly.
They don't make silk top hats anymore, so is it possible to change the shape of current silk top hats?
Yes, we can change the shape of the silks. It's basically we use a bar heater, which will make the hat pliable. We then take the person's head shape, which brings it back up to the full size. We put that in the hat like that.
You can then basically stretch it to the same size.
Yes.
And also you're offering a cleaning and polishing service for silk top hats?
Yes, we're offering complimentary steaming and brushing and polishing.
They are beautiful behind you. People can buy them as well. And roughly how much will these silk top hats set people back?
Depending on the size of your head, we can go from anything from a couple of thousand up to 15,000 for a size 65 head.
£15,000. Let's have a look at that one if you don't mind. This one extra special. It's very elegant, isn't it?
This one is 11,000, but it's purely because heads were smaller back in the day. The larger ones are much rarer, and because they're antiques, because silk's not made anymore, they just become more and more antique and more expensive.
11,000.
£11,000, but they are beautiful.
Quite something, isn't it? Tom, is yours worth 11,000 as well?
Naturally. I'll tell you mine.
Somethings.
I'll tell you mine. £240, I think it was, on eBay a few years ago. It's 1920s German. It needs
a free polish.
Yeah. Now what it needs, it's called a blacken and polish around the rim. It does need.
You've been using baby wipes, I can tell.
I have, and you can see it's Titus König. Well, I don't know if we can see that in the middle there. There am I going? There we are. Look at that. Berlin, and it's silk. It does need a reshape because you can see I've got this sort of pinch on the front of my head.
Did you know your hat size? Did you go get measured for a hat size before you bought it?
No. What I did was I wrapped some string around my head, and then I laid it against a tape measure, which is, I think, the traditional way of doing it.
It's very official.
And that might be why it's a little tight. But I love it. Like, I love that. One thing I love about coming to Royal Ascot is, when guys go racing, you wear a suit maybe, and you have a bit of flair with your tie. But there's something about the top hat which just excites me putting it on. It's just different, right?
Would you ever wear it outside of Royal Ascot?
Probably not. No.
Not like to the dinner, like to a dinner theatre or...
No, I'm not sure how well received that would be. But I like getting out each and every year. Okay, Lazat is not coming back in. We're going to move on with our next race, which is the Jersey. So we're not too far away from it. And a good-looking renewal it is. Unorthodox finish to the... Oh, he's just popped in, bless him. He's popped in. Lazat is here.
Welcome back to the main paddock. The presentation has just been made for our feature race, and the Jersey Stakes runners have congregated in the ring. Let's get a look at some of them. We saw some of them in the pre-paddock already. Let's pick up number 5 again. Let's just go to the German horse, because of course lots of our German friends will be tuning in to see Dijari. He's taking preliminaries really well. He isn't sweating and he's loving this atmosphere. He looks a beauty. We'll skip back now and we'll just take our time and see who emerges. As you can appreciate, guys, at an event like this where the royal family are on display, there's quite the crowd inside and outside the ring. So getting to see the horses can be a bit difficult. This is Comanche Brave coming towards us. I would say he's one of the more compact types in the ring. He looks really fit for today. His mother, Ishvana, won this in 2012. We'll skip back 3 more to catch the Chesham horse coming towards us. This is number 12, Seagulls 11. He ran no race into 2,000 guineas at Newmarket. He needs to up his game. Behind him is number 15. We caught California Dreamer. That's the filly. I think she's a great chance. She was second behind Lake Victoria in the Irish 1,000 guineas. She's the choice of David Egan. She's a leading chance for the Irish handler, Adrian Murray. Let's see who's coming towards us here. That looks like... He's covering up the number. That's number 9. That's Pelletry. James Owen, big runner here. Lip chain on. Looks really, really lean. Tall horse. This guy is by Sergei Prokofiev. He has every chance. Behind him is number 10, Ramuz. Again, we saw him in the preliminaries. 2-time winner, inexperienced but unbeaten. They're your leading protagonists for our upcoming Jersey Stakes. Let's see who takes our next race.
Let's take you through them then. Jersey Stakes. Good old Brian ran well at this meeting last year for different connections. Comanche Brave is the 3-1 favourite, Donica O'Brien. And for Ryan Moore, who came out of the Irish Guineas, looking as though 7 furlongs might just suit a little bit better. Michelle?
Coming to the second page of runners and riders here. Marvel Men will be at the top for Andrew Balding, already with a winner on the card today. And Noble Champion. Useful sort, but I don't know, the distance might work in his favour.
Yeah, Ramaz would have a great chance for Owen Burrows and Callum Rodriguez. He's going to go off right towards the top of the betting.
I know the next page will have your top pick, Seagulls 11 in here, right?
Yeah, I think this horse has got a really good chance. He's been gelded. He's a 25-1 shot. I think that's fair enough. I think the most likely winner is Comanche Brave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but Seagulls 11, I think, having been gelded back over 7, a chance. California Dreamer.
You can't get better form than California Dreamer right now. I'm not sure about the 7 furlongs because she's over 2 that, but she was just second to Lake Victoria. The 3rd place finishes with Sorsini, who won the coronation this week.
And Adrian Murray had a horse run really well here yesterday in the Commonwealth Cup.
7-1, I'll take that.
So here they are making their way around a few moments ago.
Noble Champion looked like he was acting up a little bit.
We're on the straight course again. That is the one horse, one of a couple in the race for Ammo Racing. Russell Ryan will ride for Rafael Freire, who is having his 2nd season over here as a trainer and doing really well. I think he was 2nd season with his name on the licence anyway. I think he'd been heavily involved in the Ammo Racing setup with his fellow Brazilian, Keir Joyabshin.
Both starts this year have been not great, in my opinion, for Benevento, but we get a turn back in distance, which could be favourable, and obviously some class relief here, as he was last seen in the 2,000 guineas last time out.
One thing we've definitely seen on the straight course, it has been pace responsive all week. You know, our most recent race, if you haven't gone very, very hard early, you can definitely stay there, although we tend to associate the straight course with horses coming from off the pace. Jane Mangan has jumped in to join us, having done sterling work out and about. out.
Well, I tell you guys filled that gap really well. Love a horse getting loose. Did you guys know that there's a rule that if you don't weigh in within 10 minutes of crossing the line, you're thrown out?
No.
Maureen Haggis has just told me that, and I thought this horse would have been in trouble, but fortunately, it didn't happen.
Sorry, that was over 10 minutes.
I'm just saying, it happened in Newmarket.
That's unbelievable.
Unless they got rid of the rule, but there certainly was a rule that you have to have your horse weighed in.
I mean, it feels a slight... That's would
not
feel
really their fault.
Unnecessary
It's
rule.
ridiculous. Can you imagine at the Curragh or Newmarket where there's no borders to them running for miles?
Oh, they'd be off.
They'd be off.
They get loose at Newmarket. They're honestly being Cambridge.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad if that rule is still there, it should be gone.
Happy to see right there that Noble Champion has settled down. When he was walking out of the walking ring here, he was really on his toes, kicking up, but much calmer since coming onto the racetrack.
Just want to get your take on the race, Jane.
On the sprint?
No, on the Jersey. Sorry, this one coming up. The Jersey. What's going to happen?
Dejari was my pick of the ring. Beautiful horse. I like the filly California Dreamer. I think she's got the best form. And Remuse just takes my eye because he could be anything.
All right, I think Comanche Brave will go very well, and I did think Seagulls 11 would have half a chance. Yours?
15, California Dreamer for me.
Oh goodness! The last time you agreed, you were right. But I was delighted for both of you. All right, there they are on their way down ahead of the Jersey Stakes on the straight course again, over 7 furlongs. One smack Mac for Jer Lyons heading down.
Well, the market is suggesting Comanche Brave is going to be the most likely winner. Donegal O'Brien's runner, only his second runner of the week here at Royal Ascot after his Ballantina was third in the Albany yesterday. Now, Comanche Brave has only won the one race. That was at Cork last September when he won a maiden on good to firm ground. Travelled really well under Gavin Ryan. Was a little bit keen, if anything, but this was over 6 furlongs. He obviously going a furlong further this afternoon, and he did quicken up smartly and pulled away to win well. As Francesca had said, he was second in the Red Rocks to Henri Matisse at Leopardstown in March, but he was no match for Field of Gold in the Irish Guineas over a mile when he faded close home. Back down to 7 should suit, and he's well found in the market.
So there is Comanche Brave. Dad's been in the winners this week. Joseph keeps hitting the bar. Mind you, Joseph's had a double today, Limerick and Down Royal. He'd love to have a winner here. He's still got chances to come. Who do you fancy, Meg?
I do think Comanche Brave has a massive chance. He's not big. He really is quite the opposite. Kevin Blake was saying on the opening show actually that his dam wasn't very big either, but he's got a big heart and he tries extremely hard. I like him, and I don't dislike the chances of Ammo Racing's California Dreamer. She's the only filly in the race, but fillies can win it. She ran seriously well last time behind Lake Victoria in the Irish 1000 Guineas. Dropping down to 7 furlongs should suit her, and I thought that although she's a little bit buzzy and on her toes, she wasn't sweating or anything. I think that's just her, and I thought that she actually looked pretty well in the prelims.
Yes, you're right. She did look well, and like you said, the only filly in the field. She actually beat home Sir Senna last time out. Sir Senna, who won here yesterday, and that does rate quite well. Ammo Racing looking for that winner. They've also got Benevento here. Who do you fancy, Jason? Have you given us your fancy?
Well, I think that when you go down through them, Francesca, a team that are in really good form are Ed Walker's squad, aren't they? Now, I'm pretty sure he thought Noble Champion was going to be his Guineas horse when he ran in the Greenham behind Jonquil. Didn't happen for him there, and they surprisingly went up to the mile. Now, I believe at that time Ed's horses were carrying a bit of condition. It was early on in the season, and they weren't quite firing. Dropped him back down to 6 last time, a sharpener, if you like, and he now steps up to what could be his ideal distance. Drawn 4. Hopefully there's a bit of pace around him. He's an each-way player.
It's a funny mixture of some horses that have been performing at a higher level and coming back a little bit, and others that are trying to go up a bit in grade. But number 6, we'll talk about in a second, Megan. We'll just go and see what's happening with Luke.
Yeah, the horse is just coming down for the Jersey Stakes. Spy Chief Rab Haviland's got his feet out of his irons. Also Marvel Man, just getting a warm, to be perfectly honest with you. But, you know, it is pretty oppressive, the heat down here. And we just see a couple of the others come up. Just making his way down, and yeah, they're just walking behind the stalls. Now, I've been amazed. The thing about the whole meeting has been actually how calm the horses have been given the heat. But if there was one thing that has annoyed me at this Royal Ascot, is how Ed has kept whinging about how hot he is. It's absolutely lovely down here.
I cannot believe it. Hold that shot, director. Hold that shot.
Is it weird that the only question I'm thinking is he wearing his boxer shorts or what?
Thankfully, yes, for everybody, I am wearing my boxers. Don't worry about that.
Didn't take his swimmers.
Oh, that's amazing. I did not know that was coming. Look at that. He's going to have his own enclosure at Ascot soon. Dancing to Mr. Brightside last year. I was thinking, where's the camera going as it was panning around? Where is he? Where is he? Oh, my word. Brilliant.
That is great. But we won't find out we won't find out anything about the horses down at the start with Luke, which isn't going to help. A few have been getting themselves a little bit worked up, and I think it's the ones that can kind of keep their calm in the prelims that definitely helps their conditions because of the hot weather today. But there are definitely some cooler than others. What about Remuse, 2 from 2, taking a step up in grade?
Yeah, I quite like the way that he won at Doncaster. They were all sort of on his tail, and then all of a sudden he opened up to go away and was a pretty wide margin victor in the end, wasn't he? So he's really.
You know that was going to happen.
Wait, sort of he had a twinkle in his eye, and he talked about, I hope there's a 7 furlong race on Saturday. He said, I've spotted something, he said.
Oh, we must put it on social media. He got 4.4 million watched the fool eat a chicken wing, and now he's got in a swimming pool at the 7 furlong start. There it is. There, he's still in there. He's still in there. Brian.
I think that's an odds-on shot that Luke in the swimming pool will eclipse 4.4 million from the York episode. Luke is the Marvel man. That's 4-1 second favourite, but the favourite is the Irish horse Comanche Brave at 3-1. 4-1 Marvel man with Remuse, and California Dreamer, who was second in the 1,000 guineas. The third on that occasion was Sir. She franked the form yesterday by winning the Coronation.
Please, can we cut away from that horrendous sight, those enormous shoulders? Right, let's focus on this.
One that's been backed, Marvel Man, Megan number 6.
Yeah, plenty of support for him. I thought he would be one of the potential pace angles. He ran very well at Newmarket, I suppose, on his return behind Cosmic Year. Now that form worked out pretty well. He is taking a step up in grade, but effectively Cosmic Year ended up being very close at the Group 1 level. So I think he's got a solid chance, and I can understand the money. He's looking like he might be the last one to load as well.
Comanche Brave, very, very strong in the market. 5-2. Marvel Man at 7-2 with the Remuse. The last one forward will be number 6. Marvel Man, Sheen Murphy for the Andrew Balding team. They've had a good week.
And Marvel Man is about to slot into stall number 14 with Sheen Murphy. 15 3-year-olds lined up for the Group 3 Jersey Stakes, all taking the prelims well, all stood still. They're in the gate, and they're off. And they've broken a pretty good line. Just taken back was Yamabi there from the centre of the gate. Also Saracen just trails them in the early stages, as too does Seagulls 11. They're breaking into 2 groups. Over on the far side, Spy Chief has taken the early lead. The German Raider, that is Diet Jari, is also right up there together with Noble Champion. And over on the far side, the Grey Caban, and also there is Comanche Brave. Meanwhile, on the near side, and so way off the pace, it's California Dreamer who's got the lead to Benevento, who raced in second, and then One Smack Mac is racing in third of the near side group, together with Marvel Man, and then Brian and Saracen, then the White Blaze of Seagulls 11, and the overall back marker, having restrained at the break, is Yamabi there. But the overall lead, and quite emphatically, goes to the far side group with Spy Chief, who's clear by a couple of lengths. To in second, that is Noble Champion. In third is Diet Jari, now being ridden along, and so to his Caban, and then Comanche Brave. Just in behind them is Pelletary, and then the vivid yellow of Remose. So they're racing now down inside the final quarter of a mile. Still the far side group, and still Spy Chief and Robert Hamlin. Cutting now to the near side is Noble Champion to challenge in second. Comanche Brave is in third. Pelletary trying to stay on over on the far side, and they're then being followed by Remuse inside the final furlong, and it's Noble Champion and Kieran Schumacher coming across towards the near side, but it does not matter because Noble Champion is going to rout the field. Noble Champion, the champion in the jersey. In second came Spy Chief, followed home by Comanche Brave, and then Remus in fourth position. And from a long, long way back, Yamo Be There passed horses very late and has got a little piece of the action, but never ever featured. 25 to 1 for Noble Champion. Ed Walker is the trainer, and Kieran Schumacher rides, comes right across the near side. A second win of the week for Kieran Schumacher, and it's a second place here for Spy Chief. They've finished at big intervals. In third, Comanche Brave, who never really got that involved, and then came Ramos, and then Yama Be There, and another one held up early, Seagulls 11, back in sixth. Been quite a week for Ed Walker, and for Kieran Schumacher, Noble Champion, their champion here.
Yes, Ed and Camilla were in the Royal Procession earlier today. They had a winner yesterday. I don't think they're going to want to let go of Royal Ascot 2025. Noble Champion, Jason Weaver. What a shout that was. And that, they don't seem to win easily, the Ed Walker horses at Royal Ascot. They romp home.
He's cantered through the race, hasn't he? It was all a question of time, but when Kieran decided to let him go, he's got a perfect toe in. The leader has skipped along, Spy Chief, over on the far side, and he runs around a little bit late on. He was looking for company, possibly. They just didn't know what his trick was. 7 furlongs a mile.
Yes, they were experimenting, weren't they? But goodness me, you're so right there, because you can see Kieran Schumacher, he hadn't moved a muscle. He almost still had a double handful when all the other jockeys were rowing away. I think he was probably on the right side of the track. He has drifted across to the stand side. But that was a great shout from you, Jason, and he's won by a number of lengths.
Yeah, he has, and as you say, he's given away distance as well by drifting all the way over. You do see that sometimes at Ascot when the horses hit the front, they can drift left back towards the entrance and exit that they come out of the tunnel. But it's like buses, isn't it? Once you get one, they just keep coming. And Kieran Schumacher, Ed Walker team up again for another winner this week. Jason, this horse started his career with serious amount of hope and potential, and then lost his way. As you say, the trip wasn't really sure, but the 7 furlongs seemed to be key off a fast pace.
25 to 1.
For the owner, the first horse he had in training was 10 Bob Tony, who is still in training. It wasn't that long ago, and now you see these colours on the racetrack a lot. He's invested a lot, and thankfully getting
so their judgment obviously wasn't misplaced. Early on they thought, you run in the Greenham at Newbury, you're thinking the guineas, aren't you? That's where you're aiming for, and so they've had to rejig their plans and back down over 7. He's got a lot to look forward to.
Did you take 33s? Did you take 33s?
I've had a little bit, Ed. I've had a little bit.
Well done, because you fancied one yesterday. It didn't back. It's 33 to 1. This horse this morning. A couple of firms were 28 to 1. Has gone off at 25 to 1. Spy Chief was second. The Gosden horses just continue to run really well at 20 to 1. Good result for the bookmakers. The very well backed Comanche Brave finished in third. Now I reckon that John Gosden's second place, with Thady of course, on countback puts him at the top of the tree to be champion trainer, which I think is good in the sense that he's won the big races. He's won the St James's Palace, he won the Prince of Wales, he won the Gold Cup. Aidan won the 2-year-old races and so on, but those were the big ones for the Gosdens. They go in front. Comanche Brave, as I say, finished in third, and it's a result that leaves 4 people in the ITV7 going for 100 grand, and nothing much phases John. Cool as a cucumber when Trawlerman won the Gold Cup, and just casually moving on. John, I think you're top of the table to be top trainer here with, what have we got, 3 races to go, and I'm trying to see what Aidan O'Brien's got left.
I think they've only got 1 each left in the Golden Gates. Tycoon for John and Thady, and Roosevelt for Aidan. No, John and Thady actually have 2 in that race, but I think that it's only the Golden Gates that they have runners remaining.
Gosden's very much in the box seat then. Here's our latest winner, Noble Champion. Westy, I think they call the fella on the right there, who led up Noble Champion here. And Rishi, it's been a cracking couple of days. Kieran Schumacher back in the spotlight.
Yes, it has been a cracking couple of days for Kieran Schumacher. Kieran, just talk me through the performance from this fella first of all, because despite leaning over to the left-hand side in the closing stages, there was daylight back to the rest of them.
Yeah, that's why I kind of allowed him to. You know, I knew I was clear, and he was always going forward with plenty of momentum, so I wasn't panicking. He galloped through the line strong. He's a horse with lots and lots of class, and in all fairness, Ed Walker has always held him in the highest regard, and for one reason or another, things just haven't gone his way this year, but the stiff 7 furlongs with a fast pace to aim at has really suited him.
What a week it's turned out for you, Kieran, and obviously, as we all know, I think Matt mentioned it yesterday, it's been a challenging year for you thus far, but to come here keep your focus and ride 2 winners so far at Royal Ascot. What does that say about you, do you think?
Well, that's not for me to answer, but I've always remained highly focused, and I know where I want to be, Rishi, and I want to go there.
Ed Walker said to me yesterday, he said, what's bad news for one person might be good news for him. And what a relationship this could possibly be blossoming into once again.
I hope so. I've always ridden for Ed, and there's a real team feel there, Rishi, and I hope it's something brewing.
Well done, Kieran.
And we get the owners' information. Thank you to the ROA and particularly Keeley, who helps us at big meetings. We always want to give the owners as much attention as we can. And Francesca mentioned TBT Racing, which is Simon Sadler from London, absolutely what you said, and 10 Bob Tony, his first ever horse. So his father was a market stall holder. Everything on his stall cost 50p, and that earned him the nickname 10 Bob Tony, hence the name 10 Bob Tony for the horse. And I think I'm right in saying in 2014 he bought Stanley Matthews' FA Cup winners medal. 5 years later he brought Blackpool FC for 10 million. So that shows how successful he was. And well done to Ed Walker on the left there, with his Royal Box pass on. That's that different coloured one. Quite a day for the Walker family, quite a couple of days for the Walker family. And great to see, and Johnny Murtagh spoke very movingly about Kieran on Tuesday, about everything he's gone through and the harsh stick he's had. Great to see him smiling again.
Great to see him smiling again, and for Ed, what a day, having had that winner yesterday and then winning again today, having been in the carriages as well. His wife Camilla there in the blue. He's worked so hard, he's had to change stables so many times. Now he's pretty settled where he is. He's got lots of horses now. He's even got horses before the King and the Queen, so he's very much riding the crest of a wave.
Yeah, and I suppose Kieran is a little bit too now. Bit of pressure coming into this week, no doubt. Gets that first winner on the board yesterday. In the way he rode through the Jersey there, he's just winning with so much confidence, and he's probably got a bit of a monkey off his back.
We speak so much about the draw bias here at Ascot, and is there a draw bias? But I think when you watch this race, it's more so the pace bias, and you have to be drawn wherever the pace is. So when they jump from the stalls here and they split into 2 groups, the pace is Spy Chief in the Godolphin Blue on the right, and the group that goes with him end up so far in front. All the horses that went left, which included Marvel Man and California Dreamer, horses like that, they ended up 4, 5, 6 lengths at one point back off the group on the right hand side, which Spy Chief was blazing along under Rob Havlin. He was running away, and that allowed Kieran Schumacher just always sit in his slipstream. So the jockeys on the far side then had to quicken up to try and make up the ground, while the ones on this side were just sitting and travelling. And Kieran Schumacher switches out then from behind Rob Havlin, opens up your winner Noble Champion, and away he goes. Now he does drift a bit across to his left and ends up almost over against the far rail, but he'd been in the right place all the way up the straight. And for Kieran Schumacher, well, there is only one currency in this sport, and that's riding winners, and now he's after riding the pair of them here.
And another one for the week for Kieran Schumacher, as we saw there, Ruby taking through it perfectly, just how the pace developed. And it very much developed towards the lower drawn numbers.
25 to 1.
And those on the stand side didn't really have much chance given the pace that wasn't on offer that side. Another one for Kieran. Jane and Michelle still with us as we have just taken in the Jersey Stakes, won by Noble Champion. Up next we've got the very easy to solve Wokingham. I think they might go a bit harder there.
There's a few extra runners, to be fair. What have we?
Just a bit.
Just the 30 odd. I think with the Godolphin horse out, I like William Haggis's More Thunder.
Oh, I do.
Decent form with Stout last year, 2 from 2, but Tom Arkon will have to deliver him late. He likes to be dropped down the line. It won't be simple in a big field.
No, but I think he's got a proper chance. It's very sad, Michelle. It's very sad, isn't it?
That Jane's
because we're saying
leaving.
goodbye, Jane.
Don't say goodbye.
I'm sorry, it's actually, and I'm not blowing smoke, it's been a huge privilege to work here and then to work with great people, honestly. I know you, I didn't know you. She's as good as they say, folks. She's as good as they
Pleasantly
say.
surprised. Very good.
Actually, you could just leave. Jane and I could
All right,
stay.
see you later, folks. Yeah, cheers, Jane. You've been a star. Thanks very much to Jane Magan.
Thanks,
As
Jane.
ever, we say goodbye after the feature races. Let's hear from the winning trainer of the jersey, Ed Walker.
Ed, congratulations. What a week.
Been a great week. We've had a few blips along the way, but absolutely thrilled and just so pleased for this horse. We had massive belief in this horse coming into this year, and for one reason or another, we've just not got it right. And today, everything fell right.
He travelled like a. I mean, he travelled like he could go 6 today. I mean, and he has gone 6, of course, in the past. He's got a real load of class when everything clicks.
Yeah, he's a very fast horse. Hence, we brought him back to 6. He was keen over a mile. I just got it wrong. We had a hiccup going into the Greenham. We thought he was a Guineas horse. The Greenham brought him forward. We went a mile, and it was keen and messy. Winner of that race, Racehorse, won here yesterday. And anyway, back to 6. Didn't work, but everything was right. Stiff 7 today was absolutely perfect.
Your stable has been on fire. There was a couple of weeks ago, our Mackham, Troyer run over in France. You just kept on winning the big races. It's carried on now into Royal Ascot. It says something about your expectations that you have 2 winners, and it almost feels that you're still feeling, it could have been more.
We always want more. Everyone always wants more. It's human nature. There are 3 Group 1s won this week by horses that we beat, with horses back at home that haven't run this week for various reasons. So yeah, it's always a bit frustrating. But I'm very, very lucky. I've got a great team of staff who've been with me a long time. Owners, very supportive owners. Simon Sadler's recently come into the game. Incredibly generous guy. He wants to back us. He said he wants to take the stable to the next level. He's giving all this prize money from Ascot to a pancreatic and liver cancer charity that he believes strongly in. He's a great man, and we're very lucky to have him on board.
I mean, that is absolutely fantastic of him. He's a very important owner for the yard now, so that is a very important winner.
He is very important, yeah. But it's it's all the owners are important, and there are lots of guys who've been with me for a very long time. And without them, we wouldn't be where we are. So we're enormously grateful to everyone.
And of course, Ombudsman was one of the most impressive winners of the week. But you housed the horse that smashed him up in Al Mackham. In some ways, that must have felt like a win.
It did, yeah. I mean, like I said yesterday, who knows how much he needed that run at Sandown. We'd had a run. We were getting £3 from him. So it'll be an interesting rematch.
And what about Kieran Schumacher, this relationship? He's won stakes races for you now in a very short time. He rode Dreamloper to win you Group 1s back in the day. As you may have heard, he recently lost a job. Surely you've got to call him up Monday morning, haven't you, and sign him up before he gets snapped up elsewhere.
I texted Kieran when the news broke out, and I said, I'm really sorry for you, but I'm thrilled for us because we can use you more. So always got on very well with Kieran. He's a brilliant jockey. He did wonders with Dreamloper, and hopefully there'll be plenty more opportunities to team up.
Great week for you, well done.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, you can't underestimate the form that man has been in, that Ed Walker. I mean, just throwing in the winners over the last 3 weeks or so, and they hit form at the right time, and they partnered up with this man, as has Charlie Fellows a good bit. Of course, he became a free agent after losing the job with John Gosden.
Whoops.
But he's a very capable individual. And it was after the high-profile ride on Field of Gold, of course, that he lost that job in the Guineas, where, by his own admission, he didn't get it right. I don't think it was a bad ride. He was just outridden. And it can be a pretty unforgiving game, Michelle, at the top level.
Sure can, but at least he's coming back this week with a couple of winners, and it's something to say about redemption rides, right? So you get to come and have rides like this and win big races on big days, and it makes you feel a little bit better about some of the losses that come down the line as well.
Maybe he's your jockey of the day, Kieran Schumacher. You can scan the QR code to cast your vote. The QR code on the screen. Scan it now and vote for your Longines Jockey of the Day.
Well, Felicity Barnard now joins me. Your first Royal Ascot as CEO. How have you found the last few days?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I came into the week with an enormous sense of pride, to have such a window for our sport for the world. It is just fantastic. And now, almost at the end of those 5 days, reflecting on it, I just can't believe how well it has gone. The racing has been fantastic, some fantastic international runners, real clashes on the turf, and lots still to come. But also just the vibrancy here over the last 4.5 days has been fantastic. So hugely proud and delighted.
You've worked in all different sports. When you first came into this job, I know you've been at Ascot a number of years before stepping into the CEO role. Were you surprised by how much international interest there is and involvement there is with this week?
Absolutely. So racing, of course, as I've just said, having all of these lovely clashes from international runners, it makes it so important and so vibrant. But, you know, having a look at the Ascot brand and Royal Ascot brand and what that means to people internationally, it is just spectacular. We've been so lucky to welcome lots of our international partners from the Breeders' Cup, the Melbourne Cup, the Hong Kong Jockey Club here this week, and you know, all of those relationships are so important to us here at Ascot, and again just further enhance how strong we are around the world.
As we see the green coats disappearing behind you, it's been fantastic to have Their Majesties the King and Queen here every day.
Absolutely. I mean, we're so proud to be able to have the patronage of their royal family here. You know, their interest is fantastic, and it's certainly, particularly the royal procession, it's the starting whistle to our day every day.
Not long now until you can put the slippers on and reflect on a fantastic week.
Absolutely, and I will be doing ice bath first, I think.
Thank you.
And another person that's been delighted to have His Majesty the King here every day is you.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of royal procession, though.
Go on.
Ed Walker.
Yeah.
Was in the royal procession today.
It continues.
It continues the trend, and a special happy birthday to the Prince of Wales.
Yeah. Happy birthday, William.
I'm sure he's watching.
I would hope so. Although he's in the UK, so
I got a
don't know.
selfie with him.
Well, selfies. Talking of selfies, have you taken a few selfies this week?
Yeah, every day. Every day I take a selfie.
In this position?
Right here. Look at this.
Look.
Is day 1.
Oh.
That's day 2. There's day 3. There's that was day 2 actually. The one in the middle.
You've judged it very well.
I have. I'm on air for half of those 2 talking and just taking the selfie.
Yeah.
I got one from today, and I even got one with William in it.
Can we try and relay a message to His Majesty the King?
Is it hip
please?
hip hooray?
Next year, when Michelle does her selfie, we would like some acknowledgement. So he's almost photobombing.
Hold on, he waves in all of my selfies. I know you couldn't see because it's like flashed on the screen, but if you go to, I post them on like my Instagram, you can zoom in and you can see in almost all of them he's got his hand up waving at me.
It's been fun. Been a lot of fun. All right, where is Ali Vance?
Well, Ascot attracts stars from all different sports. I've got Daniel Dubois alongside me, at British heavyweight boxer. Daniel, having a good day?
Yeah, I'm good. It's very good, very interesting. I don't know much about the races, but I'm enjoying myself.
First time here, what are your impressions?
It's lively, isn't it? I see the horses and that. It looks good. It looks interesting.
70,000 people here. Are you expecting that at your next fight?
And more. It's going to be more. It's going to be massive. I can't wait. The next fight is going to be huge. I mean, yeah, blockbuster.
Remind us then, it's coming up July, Wembley?
July 19th at Wembley Stadium. Yeah, bombs away.
And this is so this one's a big one.
Yeah, for the undisputed, that's really the world, that's everything boxing's about. All the belts on the line, and we're going to do it. We're going to win it.
And how does Ascot fit into the preparation for your fight? You training hard?
Yeah, training hard, having a little break away from the gym today. Yeah, I've seen a few faces. It's good. Nice weather as well, isn't it?
And have you got any interest in horse racing or at all?
A couple of my guys I came with have placed a few bets. So yeah, I'm just enjoying the ride.
Successful bets?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
All right, go on then, tell me.
Yeah, I don't know the horses myself, but they won.
Well, you can enjoy their celebrations, join in with them. So look, enjoy the day and good luck in your next fight at Wembley.
No, thank you very much. Good stuff.
Cheers.
That's a massive fight, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched a boxing match.
Well, there you are. Saturday the 19th of July. It might not be good timing for you. You might have to wait up. Oh, no, you'll be fine. Be early in the day. There you go, watch it. Big fight. There'll be loads of people there. There have been loads of people here this week. So this is fantastic. When we were at the Derby 2 weeks ago today at Epsom, there was a bit of doom and gloom because it wasn't very well attended. We were concerned, and now Ascot happens, and attendances are fantastic. 45,500 on Tuesday, that's up 4%. Wednesday, best part of 42,000, up 3.5%. That is Thursday, 66,000, up 5.1%.
I said 68 and change. Sorry.
Well, yeah, you were nearly there. First 3 days, there were basically 7,000 more people here across those 3 days, and then yesterday we had 63,000. It's a sellout today. So we are up, which is great news for Royal Ascot. It just, again, marks what an event this is in people's calendar, when people have to choose what they're going to. You know, you've got Wimbledon on the corner. They've got to be picky about where they go. They're coming here, Michelle.
I also love the fact that we see a lot of celebrities, we see influencers coming, in addition to, you know, your regular everyday fan, and now all the families coming out, obviously making it a tradition of their own, and that's what we need. We need a lot of people coming out that love racing so we can help with the next generation of racing fans.
Yeah, talking of celeb, Ali's out with one again.
Well, presenting the trophy for the Jersey Stakes was Victoria Smurfit, who our viewers will know you from the recent series, the Disney Plus series Rivals. And what kind of honour was it presenting a trophy at Royal Ascot?
Well, pretty extraordinary. I haven't been here since I was 16, when I was at school across the way, and we would doff our, we'd line on the high street in Ascot and doff our hats as the Queen passed by. So to follow our Queen, being able to present the prize was pretty extraordinary.
Slightly different experience, this one.
Entirely different, but you know, I'm Irish. I've gone to school in Ascot, and I'm in Rivals, and there's a lot of horses in Rivals. Though I only got a camel.
Oh yeah, you're bred for it anyway.
Yes.
How would you describe Royal Ascot to people around the world, if people have not been or experienced it?
You know, the attention to detail and the heart and the fun and the ceremony and the pomp and the circumstance is so incredibly packed with community. I thought it might be, I'll be honest, I thought it might be there might be a hierarchy, but it's so welcoming. It's extraordinarily beautiful and extraordinarily welcoming, and I'm really, really thrilled to be here.
What are you up to at the moment?
Well, tomorrow I go back to work and down to Bristol, down to the Cotswolds, and play some more with the lunatics that I do, that I work with on Rivals.
Surely they should be filming an episode of Rivals here.
They really should. They really should. But they are doing some horse stuff. But if I told you, I'd have to off you, so I can't tell you anything.
Please tell me you're going to be riding.
Not me, not horses.
Okay, that's pretty conclusive, but yeah, you were definitely looking like there might be some secrets. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be out, in the autumn?
We don't know. It'll be out when Disney want to drop it. Haven't a clue.
Well, we loved season 1, so thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Well, we're making 12 episodes this year, so we're making more for you.
Yes, bring it on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's take you through these ahead of the Wokingham Stakes. Apollo 1 is number 1 for Peter Shearer, Lambus, James Clutterbuck, Danny Tudder. Pick some of these out. Zoom for Ross O'Ryan and Ray Beckett. Obvious chance of Jarrah for Owen Burrows and Billy Loughnane. I can definitely see the case there. Course and distance form is looking pretty strong.
Corker comes in at 15 runs since his last win in 2023, so it's been quite a while. Also, the 7 Pura saying hasn't won a race since last year. As he flipped the page, we're still not to the 17 who unseated Kieran Schumark.
Yeah, who was sensing a theme. You win a race, you get unshipped.
Yes.
Yeah, that was Vadream. Orazio, incidentally, has got good course and distance form, goes well fresh, 252 days off the track. Ram has got the form that ties in with more thunder. Those two have got obvious chances. There is Vadream. She's a 50-to-1 shot. She likes the track. She might want a bit more cut in the ground.
Speaking of horses that we like, the 21 on the next page would be More Thunder. I think myself and Jane both liking this son of Night of Thunder.
Massive chance. Ran at Newmarket last time.
That might be the first horse I've liked all week that you tell me has a massive chance.
Oh my goodness, honestly. I mean, it's 130 favourite for obvious reasons, but didn't like Newmarket last time, didn't like the track. There was a tailwind, he was off the pace, and this will suit much better. So Lawrence is the previous winner of the race as well, Michelle.
To like that, 2023 is when he was able to win. He's going to have blinkers in replacement of his cheek pieces. Jumbie right there to the outside. He did win the Victoria Cup here last month.
The question is, what are we going to see pace-wise? Are we going to see pace right across the track? Here's Ali.
Well, trainer George Baker joins me. George, you've got Get It. He's been a wonderful stable star for you over the years, and he was a winner here, in May. What chance do you give him in this race?
Well, listen, Ali, he broke the course record here in May, and so I guess if he goes and does that again, we'd have a reasonable chance. But 28 runners in the Wokingham is slightly different to what we had back in May. But look, he won a massive race last year, the Stewards Cup, 28 runners that day. So look, we're here, we've got a horse in great order, and he won't mind the ground. There's point and go.
Very much point and go, because he's likely to be pretty prominent from the start, isn't he?
If I could have money on the horse to be leading after 3 furlongs, I would have a few pounds on him for sure. I mean, he is electric out of the stalls. It's just a question of whether Shamey in a field like this can actually get a breather into him, because he will go again. But if they're at him 3 out, that'll be that. But look, he such a cliche in this game, but he literally owes us nothing. So just a bonus to have him here on a day like this for a great team of owners. And yeah, hopefully he'll run a big race for everybody.
Yeah, tell me about the ownership syndicate, because it's an interesting one.
Yeah, my racehorse, massive in America, obviously massive in Australia. Smaller here, hopefully they'll get bigger here with George Baker Racing. Have several horses in training with us at Epsom, that's the plan, my plan anyway. But no, they're a great bunch, and micro share ownership that gives people the opportunity to be involved here on the big stages. So fantastic.
Fingers crossed and good luck.
Bless you, Ali. Thank you so much.
Mentioning my racehorse there, any of our U.S. watchers will be very familiar with it. It's a micro-share ownership group, Tom, and they have thousands of owners on their horses. They have been victorious in races like the Breeders' Cup Classic, last year's Preakness Stakes. It's been a very exciting ride, and we've seen a lot of those micro-share owners turning into full-fledged owners, which is what we want to see. It's a really great introduction into racing, and my racehorse does a good job of trying to bring that to the public and make it a lot more digestible and very affordable.
Sun is out in force now. That rain was fleeting, thankfully, earlier on. It's now out and nice and warm again. And runners making their way down towards the start. Got that little gap in the stalls they'll make their way through, and then they'll be spread right across the track.
Would you like a fun fact about this race?
Oh, hit me.
Oh, I would love to tell you. The inaugural Wokingham took place in 1813, making it the oldest of the handicaps still run at Royal Ascot.
His Majesty the King Charles III is on his way out of the course, I believe. Yes, there we are. So he's waving goodbye, making his way back down to Windsor Castle. And it's been great to have him in attendance each and every day. And his highlight was the daily selfies, Michelle.
He asked me to send them, but he doesn't have a cell phone, so I didn't know how to get him to them.
All right, we've got 3 more to go on the final day of Royal Ascot. This is the cavalry charge that is the Wokingham.
Got to stand up for our Matt this week. He's been sparring with Messrs Gosden and Haggis in particular, and Matt's held his own and done a great job. Right, more thunder. Do you remember this, Jason, at Newmarket? This was the performance of the meeting, wasn't it? We were blown away.
Well, he'd been reinvented as a sprinter this time around, because he'd actually managed to win over 1.25 miles in a novice race at Nottingham back in November 24. So sorry, May 24. So he has done remarkably well. He thrusts through. He won off 87. He won off 92 on this occasion, and as William said, he'd been put away for this.
Yeah, that was some performance, and there he is. Good luck to the team, Tom Marquand for William Haggis, who won this last year. He's won it a couple of times. There are the horses down at the start. There's a 6 furlong straight again. Thankfully, no swimming pool near this start. Right, you fancy one strongly here, Jason?
Well, Shartash is dangerously well handicapped. That's the angle in, and sometimes you're either looking for a progressive horse like him who hasn't reached his peak, or with the old warriors, you're thinking, right, who has dropped down to a very attractive mark? And his peak rating was 113. He used to be trained by our very own Johnny Murtagh and owned by the late Aga Khan, the one-time real thought to be a Group 1 performer. There he is, not overly big, but he's definitely dangerously well handicapped.
Okay, back to him again.
Oh yes.
Well done.
Oh yes.
Well done. Zoom Zoom's a horse being backed at the moment. Oh, with such a lively betting market for Royal Ascot's oldest handicap. What's the latest, Brian?
More thunder generally at 3-1 shot in the ring, and along the rails. If you ask for 4-1, they will oblige. Giraffe 11-2, 7-1 the Hannon horse number 8 Ramaram with Brian Moore, completely random 9-1. Good each way support for Zoom Zoom, although I'm still seeing double figures. 11-1 and £10 is 20-1.
Yeah, runners circling down here. There's literally half the field want to go in late, but there is only one horse that's going in late, and that's Shartash. He goes in last, James Dawes' horse. He could be a little bit funny. I was just talking to James, one of the assistant starters, and he was saying that from the first one going in, he'll be very disappointed if he can't get the whole field loaded in just under 3 minutes. So it shouldn't compromise anyone's chances. Look, just straight in front of us here. This is Giraffe, who is a beautiful looking horse. He really is a powerful looking beast. He really is a lovely horse. The other one, we saw the favourite coming down. You can hear all the starters shouting in the background. More Thunder again. I can only give him a massive positive just walking through there with Tom Marquand. You can see, look at James running around shouting, get a lead on this one, get a lead on that one. Blinds going on most of these. So these are the tensest ones. Big field sprints. It's really difficult for everybody.
If I was a horse, Meg, I'm not sure I want to be called Giraffe, but that is Giraffe, who you fancy here, don't you?
Yeah, I do. He goes very well at the track. The stiff 6 furlongs here really suits him. He's won twice and been second here. I thought he'd take a good step forward from his return run at Salisbury. Billy's ridden him before, gets on well, and I know Billy rates him extremely highly. He's an absolute picture. I do really think he's a big gross horse and will have really tightened up for that return run. He's in stall 12, which gives Billy options. My each-way selection is down in stall 4, £10, who likes to get on with things. He has a tongue tie on for the first time and had looked smart prior to a bit of a disappointing run in the Victoria Cup last time, but over the 7, he was way too keen. He got upset in the stalls beforehand and it was a disaster before the off. Hopefully today he'll be more settled.
Jason, your fancy is in 3, Shartash. As a punter, do you want one on the other side as well,
Yeah,
just in case?
I think that's a fair shout. And the horse being loaded there, right on the left of your screen, Holcomb Bay. He's got some very good form at this particular venue. Brandon Wilkie takes off a valuable 3. I suppose cover all bases. 1 in low, one high. That would suit.
There's a horse I thought might run well, actually. Orazio, who's been 6th and 3rd before. Horses can win this on their seasonal debut. It's happened 3 times. These stall handlers are phenomenal. Look how quickly that has happened. We've almost caught up time after that long delay. That is some effort. Good luck, Mark.
Thanks very much indeed. Giraffe goes in, and then Shartash, who has the dispensation to go in last, loads into stall 3 for the Wokingham. 28 of them across the entire track in the gate. Just a bit of movement, settle, and they're off in the Wokingham. A slow beginning for Twilight Calls, a very fast start for Get It, and Get It leads early in the centre with Apollo 1 is also up there, so too is Giraffe. And meanwhile, towards the near side is Noble Truth, who's giving a lead to Desert Cop and also Holcomb Bay, but it is Get It in the centre who is blazing the trail. Leads already by 3 lengths to Apollo 1, who races in 2nd position, and then in 3rd is Wood Hay Wonder. After Wood Hay Wonder is Giraffe, and then £10. All the others now coming into one group, except for the 7 who are towards the near side. Noble Truth leads Desert Cop, racing in 2nd. Holcomb Bay is in 3rd on the near side. Then Valiant Force. After Valiant Force is the Razio, who's already been ridden along. Then Zoom Zoom and Corker, and now they're racing down towards the final quarter of a mile, and it is Get It who still leads Apollo 1 in 2nd, and then £10 is staying on with Giraffe. Germanic is another one who's trying to pick up, and then Wood Hay Wonder, the far side group, are miles clear. It's Get It and Shamey Heffernan inside the final furlong to £10 in 2nd, Apollo 1 in 3rd, Holcomb Bay staying on towards the near side, also picking up late, completely random, but it is Get It over on the far side, Get It holding on, Get It with staying on very strongly, More Thunder from a mile back, £10 on the far side, Holcomb Bay on the near side, and they were followed home by a Ram Ram and Corker. Well, 11 months ago, Get It blazed the trail and made every yard to win the Stewards Cup. He's just done exactly the same at Royal Ascot. Get It beats More Thunder, tight 3rd Holcomb Bay, and over on the far side £10, and then came completely random, and then a Ram Ram and Apollo 1, and Corker was next, and they were followed by Purasangwe. He is a very, very fast thoroughbred, trained by George Baker and ridden today by Shamey Heffernan. Get It did not see a rival. Here's the others coming over the line. More Thunder. We'll have to listen to what Ruby has to say about him, because where has he come from? I think he was almost last. He was last. Richard's confirming for me at halfway. And he has absolutely flown late. But this is a very fast racehorse, and on his day, they just can't catch Get It.
think he was already the track record holder here, beating Blue Point's record. You remember the Stewards Cup at Goodwood, the celebration when he came in, having won that day, was bedlam. We might have a bit of chaos here at Royal Ascot. George Baker, take a bow, get it. And Shamie Heffernan, who's back in the spotlight here from the start. How quick was he from the gate?
He was lightning, wasn't he? He broke well, but it was how fast he was then into stride as well, out of stall 13, and he just got lengths on them instantly, and the whole field was never able to really gather him back. It's amazing how many lengths More Thunder has managed to close, but it wasn't enough late on, Jason.
No, he's absolutely rattled home, but I think, you know, often we'll say late on, oh, the jockey was so strong and everything was in his favour and he did incredibly well, he was on the right leg. This was one in the first half a furlong. He was so electric from the gates, and his rider as well went second. He was second early on in the Chesham opening race of the meeting. Obviously he'd moved on, hadn't he, from being part of the Ballydoyle team, and he's had a pretty good season as well.
I think the far side.
Yeah, and hopefully Ruby will have a look at the fractions for us, because they must have, well, the winner must have gone away very quickly. I imagine his last furlong would have been one of his slowest, as the others were really bearing down on him. And yes, I think More Thunder has come from a mile back, so it'll be interesting to get the real analysis of this race. But so brave to hold on to the line. He got quite sweaty beforehand, but that hasn't stopped him.
That far side there, Holcombe Bay on the wrong side, really, absolutely flying. Remember the owners from last time at Goodwood? Matt.
Yeah, some of the owners have come down, my racehorse and partners. Remember, this is the boy who broke the track record here last time. I think it was held by Blue Point. Lad, well done, congratulations.
Oh, bloody hell, get it, got it, again.
He really did.
I can't believe it.
It's unbelievable.
Oh,
but he is the track record holder.
I know. Did he break it again just now?
We're just waiting for the official time to come through.
Would be nice to know.
What a day.
Matt, if you dream about owning racehorses, today is it. I mean, this horse owed us nothing before today, and you know him. You know the Bakers. They've got a wonderful team there. Everyone supports them.
We're going to speak to George once we've spoken to the winning jockey. Well done.
Go and talk to him, Matt. Go and talk to him.
Well done to Shamie Heffernan, a first Royal Ascot winner since 2019, Shamie. We'll talk about that in a minute. But tell me about the start and what happened when this horse came out the gates.
Yeah, I spoke to Patsy, and I actually rode him a bit of work in Bahrain. Didn't get to race ride him out there, but he's a horse with a lot of talent, and when things go smooth, he can run hard and fast. Just goes to show you, at his age, his enthusiasm. Some horses are trying maybe a little bit too hard when they're a little bit weak, but it just goes to show you patience.
Did you always think you were going to hold on?
I knew where the winning post was, and I needed it to come, but listen, I love riding at Royal Ascot, and when you get to my age, you appreciate a lot of things in life.
As they say, a first Royal Ascot winner since 2019, a winner for Epsom as well, courtesy of George Baker.
Yeah, well, I met the boys in Bahrain, and listen, this is the fruit from meeting Barry and George in Bahrain. Brilliant owners, they're here, they want it to happen. If it doesn't happen, we'll try again, but it's a pleasure to be dealing with people and horses like this.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, George.
52 years young. You have to feel for Pat Cosgraven's band today, but Shamie taking advantage. A man who has 38 Group 1 winners. Oh, the tip-top jocks beat that, for so long associated with Ballydoyle, of course, and winning again at Royal Ascot. And George Baker, a second winner there, for the man on the right in the light blue waistcoat. Remember him winning with Belgian Bill, I think. A huge price. And we were with him and Candida before the Derby at their new yard right next to the Derby track. An Epsom winner at Ascot, which is always a good thing. And Meyer, I think, is the lad who's leading him up there, and all smiles. They have some fun. When you have a horse with the Bakers, you have good crack. The second might have been a bit unlucky. I'd love to see that again, Jason.
Yeah, there's a possibility that the Pro Kush got caught up a little bit in the reins just as he was trying to make that last sort of challenge, and but we need to have a real good look at that. But Shamie, king in the lids, off and gone, that little bit of natural acceleration up to speed, and that was the advantage he needed.
Another good result for the bookmakers with more Thunder beaten at 3-1. Get It went off at 28-1. Despite that track record in May, £10 was in third. Holcombe Bay first on the rail on that side, fourth overall at 28-1. Will get you the extra places this time. There are extra places with bookmakers after my faux pas, after the Britannia, when all the money went to charity, of course, from the bookmakers, which was good to see.
Well, a timely interview we saw from Ali Vance pre-race and my racers. We talked about them. George Baker talked about the track record. Job done.
Really great effort right here from him. Made all here and was able to hold off the favorite with a flying run late. And we're going to have thousands of thrill donors.
Yeah, massive run from that horse. Well done to my racehorse. Welcome back, everyone. Pete Fornatal has rejoined us once again, as he does about this time each and every day. Michelle Yu still alongside. Pete, welcome back. What have you made of the racing so far today?
Another amazing day of racing. Particularly excited to see the big run from Rebels Romance, a favorite of mine. That was wonderful, but just, soup to nuts. It's all great.
Yeah, Rebels, honestly. This lady...
Did she go nuts?
I was crying.
Did she freak out?
I cried.
It's great, though, wasn't it? That's what we want to see.
I love the cross-pollination of Breeders' Cup and Royal Ascot and Rebels Romance. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Good to see this when he's had so many big days in the sun. Good to get him to have one here on this particular stage.
Yeah, I think that'll elevate him as well, because he's done it at Royal Ascot now. So is George Baker. We can hear from him.
It takes a really good horse to break track records, and this boy is a good one.
Listen, I know he broke Blue Point's record here 6 weeks ago, and that was a great thrill. And I thought, actually, that got us into this race. And look, Shamey's given him an absolute peach. All credit to Pat Cosgrave, who annoyingly is banned, because Pat has been absolutely the making of this horse. A great, great friend of mine. And I'd love Patsy to be riding him, obviously, because we've had a lot of fun along the way. But listen, what a wonderful substitute in Shamey. He breathed the horse a couple of times in Bahrain, loved him, and he did what Patsy always does, let him burn out of the stalls, and then he'll come back to you, and then he'll go again. So when he was still in front 2 out, and they were coming, I knew he'd go again. And obviously that last furlong, it took about 3 days. But what a thrill and what a horse. Listen, he's danced a lot of dances and been an absolute superstar for us.
And for a cracking bunch of very enthusiastic owners.
Wonderful owners. Listen, my racehorse, they've got a 30% of the horse. Mark Tracy, my great mate, Kevin Dunn, who will be watching from Bahrain, David Fish, Jim McHale, who'll be watching from home. A great, great bunch of owners. We had a magical day in August at Goodwood, and to have another one here on this stage is pretty cool.
For those who don't know you that well on ITV, the reason you mention Bahrain so many times is because it's kind of your second home. You go there in the winter, you win as much as you can there, and that almost pays for the rest of the year, and whatever happens after that is a bonus. But
it's magical, and they look after us so beautifully there, Matt, and the horses love it, and my owners love it. It's a really hard sell, Southall or Lingfield, with the greatest respect to them, in January, or Bahrain, and my owners love it, my horses love it, and I love it.
And you're a man who likes a party out there. The other thing is, of course, you've just moved stables to Epsom. To get a Royal Ascot winner on the back of that move is huge.
It was massive for us, that move, and we hit the tracks running. We had 16 winners, within the first sort of 11, 12 weeks. We've had a quiet sort of month. A few of those horses have been winning and going up the handicap, but we're right back on track. I mean, this is massive for us, massive for Dan's House, and hopefully huge for Epsom. If we can do just a little bit to get that place back up and running as a training centre. Fantastic trainers there, Jim Boyle, Simon Dower, Michael Atwater, Pat Phelan, great people there. And if we can all do something special at Epsom, it's just around the corner from London, it should happen.
Well done, George, you got it.
I got it. Thanks, buddy.
Well, I've come down to the bandstand. That's going to be absolutely full to the rafters later on this afternoon when the bandstand and the Household Cavalry Band start playing. But we're going to find out what people's highlights have been from their day, from the week at Royal Ascot. It's been an incredible 5 days, and these guys look like they're having a wonderful day. How's your day been?
It's been great. It's been such a fun day. Love seeing the horses in the parades and winning the bets, of course.
I love that. The punting's gone well. What have you enjoyed?
definitely seeing the horses. It's my first time at Ascot, so I'm really enjoying myself.
First time, what are your first impressions?
It's lovely. It's nice to dress up.
And a family day out. You've got all the family with you today?
Grandchildren, yeah. It's the first time for them, but I've been coming many years.
So you're showing them the ropes?
Yes, yeah.
You've been coming to Ascot for years. What would you tell people that haven't been before why they should come along?
Oh, well, come and enjoy all the fashion, the drinking, the betting, everything.
Well, enjoy, guys. You all look fabulous. I hope you have a wonderful day. Let's go over to some more people and see how their days have been. This family look like they're having a good time. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Are you enjoying your day?
Very much.
What has your highlight been from today?
I had the first winner.
The first winner?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go and have a chat to a few of these ladies. Ladies, you're looking gorgeous. Have you had an enjoyable day?
Amazing day. It's lovely. Spending time with friends and family is lovely.
Have a wonderful rest of the afternoon, and we'll finish with you, sir. How has the week been? You've enjoyed the racing. Have you enjoyed the day out?
I don't think Ascot fails to disappoint, and we're just average, normal people who've come for a lovely day out. I mean, the accommodation from everyone has been fantastic. The highlight for me, I think, has been Field of Gold winning the St James's Palace, and also Aidan and Brian's 2-year-olds have been exceptional. And also Trawler Man winning the Gold Cup. It's been a lovely, lovely week, and the weather to boot. Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, it's great to see you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Ascot really is for everyone, and we're looking forward to the bandstand getting started later on this afternoon. Well, earlier today, the racegoers witnessed one of Britain's most cherished traditions, the royal procession, which this year is celebrating 200 years in Alice Loxton. To commemorate the landmark, we've got an amazing carriage behind us. Tell us about the history of this particular one.
Yes, so there's this beautiful exhibition right in the heart of Royal Ascot this year, and this is a carriage which was gifted to Queen Victoria, and then it's been used by royals ever since.
It's amazing, the detailing, isn't it? And what's so specific about this one compared to the ones that perhaps we saw earlier today?
Well, this is an example of one of the ones that have been used for all sorts of royal ceremonies over the years, and actually it's very similar to, the hub of the royal carriages is at the Royal Mews, so the ones that we usually say are from the Royal Mews, and that is also where the Windsor Greys are kept too.
As a historian, you must just love this week with all of the traditions.
Yeah, I do. And Royal Ascot has a lot of history here. So this is a tradition, racing here, which is over 300 years old. It was in 1711 that Queen Anne was riding out from Windsor, and she saw this stretch of land, Ascot Heath, which she deemed to be a place for horses to gallop at full stretch, and that was the birth of Royal Ascot. And then later on in 1807, the royal enclosure was established, so this was a special area for the royals to host their chosen guests, and that's why the dress code's so strict, and that's why it's quite an exclusive area to be. And then in 1825, 200 years ago, this year, the royal procession was established.
It's amazing that how they've all lasted the test of time and still take place now, with the dress code being strict in the royal enclosure to the royal procession. It's definitely a nod to Britain's tradition and history.
Absolutely, and when you look at the royal procession, it's pretty much unchanged from what people would have been seeing in 1825 when it was George IV. And so many of the fashions, a great influence on the fashions that we see today was a man called Beau Brummel, who was a famous fashionista, influencer, if you like, of the early 19th century, and he was the one that really kind of put into place this dress code, and it's not that dissimilar from what we're seeing today.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing, really, that you've got to move with the times and you've got to keep modernising, but you keep this 200 years of the royal procession. And Alice Loxton, they're telling us that, Peter, not much has changed for 200 years. They're still doing the same thing. Crowds lining the rails and watching royalty come up the straight.
It's amazing to see. Certainly lends more than just a patina of class to the entire event. I got to watch it yesterday for the first time from the stand. Very different experience than from watching it here in the enclosure. Really fun to see people's reaction and just this living bit of history we get exposed to that makes this meet really like no other.
You know what I love? Really great segues. And this is a great segue because the royal procession starts at the Golden Gates, right?
Yeah.
This is the Golden Gate Handicap coming up next.
Wow. That is very good.
Well done. That's why she's a pro.
That's very good. But I genuinely love that moment where it demarcates the start of the day for me.
Sure.
And that's what, people will be saying, what time's the first race? 2:30. Well, we've got to get there before the royal procession. We've got to get our spot to see the King and the Queen coming up the straight.
I was having lunch down in the Royal today, and it's amazing just to see the flood of people. Starts about 1:30, people coming down to get their spots. You got to get that bill paid and get on your way if you want to get where you want to be to enjoy it.
Question, do we know who Brian Charles Lara is?
Yes.
Go on, Peter.
I don't know much about cricket.
There he is.
Don't know much about cricket, but I was here in '94.
He's a lefty.
Yes, he is a lefty.
Correct.
It's almost like I told you. He's a lefty. What? Is he a batter or a bowler?
Batsman.
Batter.
Very good.
Yeah. Do you say batter or batsman?
A batter.
Oh, you did say
Yes,
batter. Okay.
batter.
Like a batter
You don't
swing.
say batsman now.
Okay, that's
Batter.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess that's true.
You're a batter and bowler.
Much more modern.
Yeah.
I was here in '94 for one of his many historic achievements, and it made me look into cricket a little bit. I ended up, not really learning enough, but I think there's a lot of commonality. If you're a baseball fan, I think there'd be something for you to find in cricket.
That's the third time this week, Tom, you've asked me a cricket question that I've gotten correct.
You don't like cricket, you love it.
I love it, especially on Mondays.
He also presented the award to Ryan Moore for the top jockey. That is confirmed now. Michelle is referencing, I asked her about test matches starting on a Friday, which the current test match between England and India at Headingley has done, because that's not very traditional. So there we are. I feel there are going to be parts of the world that know exactly what I'm talking about. These are parts that really have no idea. There's a lot of cricket and racing.
That have no idea.
That's correct. There's a lot of cricket and racing crossover.
For sure. Michael Holding, I had the pleasure of working with at Sky, a massive fan, one of the greatest, what is he, a fast bowler? Is that what he was known for?
Yeah. He was a man that could be found in Sir Michael Stout's yard regularly, fellow West Indian, of course, and he would be in Newmarket all the time at Stouty's yard looking at all the horses. He absolutely loved his racing. And there's definite crossover. I mean, they're both sports that take all day for a start.
There you go.
Not like a football match, which is done and dusted in 90 minutes. You're here all day for the racing. You're there all day for the cricket.
What's the food like? Because on track here, the food's been excellent. I've watched some of the TikToks from food at football games, and it looks horrible. Is the cricket food better?
Well, I can
football
tell
games
you.
or football matches?
What I can tell you is a bit like racing. Picnics are a big thing at cricket. So you can go in, you take your picnic, and you spend all day there enjoying yourself. There we are. I didn't think we'd talk so much about cricket, but that's what Brian Lara does. Ali, over to you. I think you're with Brian.
I certainly am, yeah. He does do a bit of cricket, or did do a bit of cricket, yeah. He needs no introduction, Brian Lara. What was that like presenting the trophy here at Royal Ascot, a very different sporting occasion?
A very different sporting occasion. And what do I like about Ascot is the fact that it's one of those events that it's an event within an event. You got the races, but you got the whole social side of it. It's just amazing. I've been coming for a few years, and it's been exceptional. This is the first time I've been on these hollow turfs presenting an award. I truly feel privileged.
But it has got its similarities with somewhere like Lord's. I mean, obviously the cricket takes centre stage, like here the racing takes centre stage, but there's a whole lot of picnics and champagne drunk there as well.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, and my top five, Ascot will be very much up there. They've got the Melbourne Cup where there is the racing, but there's this part of it that is so amazing. You could come out here, you may not even see a race, but you may have the greatest time of your life. And this is what I love about Royal Ascot.
Now, the West Indies has an affinity for racing. Sir Michael Stout, Michael Holding, your teammate Chris Gale was here yesterday. Are you a racing fan?
I am a racing fan. I grew up in a family, not my dad, but someone who looked after me when I was very young in the big city of Port of Spain in Trinidad. He was big into races, the late Joey Carew. And through his sons, Michael and David, I was out there with them at the Savannah, at the races. So I do understand racing. I love racing. And I've spent a lot of time and money on it.
So the fact you were presenting the Top Jockey Award to Ryan Moore wasn't lost upon yourself. I mean, a true sports hero in a different sport.
Yeah, Ryan Moore is an amazing jockey. And of course, I grew up in a time with Pat Edery and a couple others, Steve Thornton, a lot of great jockeys around the world. But Ryan Moore is someone who has captivated. And as the sport evolved, you tend to find that there's hardly time to get a champion. But when someone stands out like Ryan Moore, it's amazing. So for me, it's a great honor to have met him for the first time and to present him with an award.
Lovely to see you here. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Great to hear from Brian Lara. Great to hear from Brian. The Golden Gates is up next, and Tricky Handicap to Solve. There are the Golden Gates, which the royalty comes through each and every day. This is not going to be easy to solve necessarily, but we're going to try and help you with that before we cross over to our friends at ITV Racing. Pete Fornatel, who are you with?
I like Best Secret in this spot. Thought the horse was very impressive last time out at Longchamp, finishing the final 3 furlongs more than a second faster than anyone else in the race. That was kind of a slow, even gallop. This should be a fast gallop. I might think that will see Best Secret's finishing speed to better effect.
Seraph Gabriel must have a really good chance. Finished really well last time. I think that was a mark-up performance. Been kept away from the track since then. I'll talk Kid of Bethune because I like that horse. Came out the London Gold Cup, Michelle, last time. I thought that would put him spot on for this. That's a good bit of form.
Interesting horse in here is Roosevelt as well for Aidan O'Brien. Finally going to get Ryan Moore aboard. He's a horse that likes to run off the bridle. You really need to work to get him involved.
War Socks for Niels Peterson, we saw there. I think he's only the second Norwegian runner at the meeting ever. So good luck to Niels. He travels horses plenty between here, Dubai, and of course in Scandinavia. And that's our final two, Glendigan and Brindavan.
A quick double where the white and light green. The light blue and the dark blue.
Well, Richard, Roosevelt is 18 to 1 and Rock of Cashel is 33 to 1. Top of the market at 3 to 1 is horse number 5, Seraph Gabriel for Rafe Beckett, Ross Orion 3 to 1. Best Secret from France, really shrewd trainer, only what he's 7th runner here in the last number of years, 4 to 1. Dakota Blue 9 to 2. Glen to Glen, even though it's fancied by Joseph O'Brien, is easy enough to back at 9 to 1, and it's 10 to 1 bar. Seraph Gabriel 3 to 1 favourite.
Right, we can go into the paddocks and start having a look at the runners. This is horse number 2. Is it horse number 2? 12. I think it's actually 12. I think that looks like Roosevelt, who is the Aidan O'Brien runner here, who's an interesting one because he was last on debut, then he won, and then he came last again. So he's trying to find his best distance.
Yeah, quickly over to number 4, Best Secret, who has been a real handful. He nearly actually kicked the lady there on the inside a minute ago in the paddock. The ground's an unknown for him. He normally finishes pretty well in his races.
Seraph Gabriel, who was probably a little bit unlucky when we saw him at Sandown, went up to the mile last time. That was his return. He goes up further in trip today, and he has been well supported.
The next horse we can have a look at is number 6, who's a 14 to 1 shot here. He's trained by George Bowie in the Shadwell colours. Jim Crowley takes a ride on this horse that's coming off a win, first time this year.
Number 10, Q de Bouthane, was a real eye-catcher in the London Gold Cup. He was staying on pretty well. He's going to have to probably have a more prominent position this time around.
Ernst Blofeld has not had that many goes. He's a real good-looking type, and obviously he's a massive runner for the John and Thady Gosden team. They currently are leading the Trainers' Championship on countback.
Now we can have a look at Glen to Glen, who looks like a laid-back customer, doesn't he? He used to be trained by Jim Bolger, but now with Joseph O'Brien, they actually sweated on a run to get into this race, but they're in the bottom of the weights, and I think they're quite keen on their chances. Let's go out to Matt.
Well, Rafe Beckett hit the jackpot with Amarok. Can he do it again? You said to me long ago, Rafe, that handicaps might be the thing for you this week. Seraph Gabriel stepping up in trip, is that something that you think might bring out quite a bit more improvement?
Well, I've been wrong about our handicappers this week for a start. For a start. He was in the Britannia as well. As much as anything else is about, he shapes. If he lives up to his pedigree, he will get to mile and quarter. So, that's why we're here, basically.
Did I hear he had some earplugs in or something?
Yeah, I both of them have. It's, I always feel this is a bit of a cauldron, this paddock, and if their tendency to be fresh or edgy helps them.
And Orel, his horse is very lightly braced. I mean, just 3 runs, could still be obviously improving.
Yeah, he didn't learn much in his run in the listed race on the Rolling Mile. I felt he learned plenty last time at Leicester for reasons that we perhaps didn't plan on, in that he hit the front much earlier than we thought, which is going to have to teach him a little bit down into Swinley Bottom. You know, he's going to need a bit of help, I suspect, but he should come home well.
Thanks for talking to me this week. A lot more politely than some of your colleagues. Thank you.
Thankfully in life, looks aren't everything, but if you were picking horses out on what they look like, Tycoon, horse number 3 over there, he's absolutely gorgeous. He's got the cheap pieces on for the first time, which suggests they were a little bit disappointed with his run at Goodwood last time, but he is an absolute beauty to look at. He's just, his conformation, the muscle definition there in his neck and his hindquarters is glorious. Just waiting for James Dorr to come past. He's there on Best Secret, who again is a really well put together horse. It looks like number 1 just going down. That's Rock of Cashel. They're loading quickly.
Yeah, we can see horse number 8 there just getting a little bit warm, but Aidan O'Brien's got 2 here. Rock of Cashel could potentially make the running under Sean Levy. Roosevelt is a difficult one to assess.
Yeah, he's tough. I mean, we've got a few low mileage improvers in here, haven't we? And you know, he's tried a variety of distances. Has he been slotted in with a mark of 92? Gets the tongue tie on for the first time, and saw number 1. At least his stablemate's in 3, and they'll push on.
Who do you fancy, Megan?
Well, I do like the favourite, Seraph Gabriel. I was at Sandown when he finished 2nd on his seasonal reappearance. I thought he'd take a big step forward, and that form worked out nicely. Tycoon was an interesting each-way angle. He's dropping back down in trip, and his form worked out quite nicely from Amelot winning yesterday.
And we've got a winner from Sweden last time out. War Socks for Niels Peterson here. Sylvester de Souza rides, adding to that international angle in a race that was won by Hand of God last year. They're just going to get Tycoon forward into the stalls for John and Thady Gosden under David Egan, and we can hand over to Richard Hoyles for the Golden Gates.
And on time as well. So we head away for the Golden Gates handicap. The Norwegian runner, one of the first to show, wore socks with those big white socks, and up the inside goes the dark colours of Roosevelt. A little bit between the pair is Rock of Cashel, so moving forward the O'Brien pair. Wider out, the grey Basalt trying to tack over with Ernst Blofeld. A little bit of scrimmaging in midfield. Fantasy Man got nudged wide. Seraph Gabriel's towards the back, big white face. Also Best Secrets towards the tail. So as they do settle down, it's War Socks on the outside of Roosevelt, and Basalt still trying to get in 3 wide. Racing on the inside running rail, the purple colours of Tycoon show just ahead of Rock of Cashel. A little wider out is Ernst Blofeld at this stage. In about 7th place is Glen to Glen in the pale colours, racing on the outside of Oral. Then Fantasy Man Brindavon, the blue and white of El Burhan, who was about 4 behind. They're Dakota Blue. Seraph Gabriel's well back with Best Secret at this comparatively early stage. Kita Bethune is the other one who's towards the tail. So after that joust for the lead, the pace just now more even as on the running rail. Roosevelt under Ryan Moore with War Socks for Sylvester de Souza. In 3rd place is Basalt the Grey on the outside. Tycoon tracks the leaders in company with Rock of Cashel. Then towards their outside is the Gold Cap of Ernst Blofeld. On the running rails is Oral, who's on the inside of Fantasy Man as they make the turn. Brindavon comes next. Seraph Gabriel still only has 3 or 4 behind. Dakota Blue is just trying to track runners, and angling out now. Glen to Glen has a little bit of a sight of the lead. As for Norway, War Socks gives a bold sight, kicks on from Roosevelt on the inside, then Basalt, several looking for room, but first to commit on the outside is Glen to Glen, then Oral. Seraph Gabriel's white face emerges. Brindavon, another with a chance, and Kita Bethune. It's Basalt the Grey on the outside, Glen to Glen in the mauve colours. War Socks doing Norway proud. Seraph Gabriel now trying to find full stride with Kita Bethune as they head inside the last. Seraph Gabriel's got to the front. Kita Bethune on the outside trying to hunt down the leader. A link between the pair. Back in 3rd is Best Secret, who's also running on. Seraph Gabriel needs the line. Kita Bethune is coming at him and may have got him in the final bound. Kita Bethune and Seraph Gabriel goes to the judge. Best Secret was in 3rd place, and they were clear of Glen to Glen, who came home 4th. Seraph Gabriel needed the line. Feeling was it didn't quite get there in time. Just favour the near side, I think, still on that. Kita Bethune as Sheen Murphy, 1.01 on the exchanges for Gary Gillis and Team Valor, another winner on the week for the Murphy-Balding combination, I think. Seraph Gabriel got there early, couldn't hold them off. Best Secret ran home third, and they were clear of Glen to Glen. Wait the judges' call here between 10 Key to Bethune and 5 Seraph Gabriel. Probably that way round.
So let's have a look at what we call the creep again. Horse number 10, if you're on Key to Bethune, who's 101 on the exchanges. Far side Seraph Gabriel. Looks like near side. Certainly hasn't lost, that's for sure.
There was a question mark as to whether the eventual third got a little bit of a...
I think he got a bit of a squeeze. He was trying to come with his run, couldn't quite get through. The head-on could be interesting, because once he did get out, I'm not sure if he ran around a little bit Best Secret in the hands of James Doyle.
10 wins. Another winning for the Baldings, and Sheen's going to have to do a U-turn. He obviously thought he got beat.
Yeah, he wasn't very confident then. He was happy to come back into the winner's enclosure, probably a little bit grumpy, but I'd say that mood has changed pretty quickly. He's managed to get there literally on the line. Have a look at the head on here. The one that we want to keep an eye on is Best Secret, who potentially got stopped a couple of times.
In the red hat there. And the
switching and changing, isn't he?
Yeah, 3 off the rail, the Rothman, red hat, the gold sleeves, blue body. He's just running around a little bit. When he does get clear air, look, you see James Doyle just switching his whip there, and the horse just not quite running straight. And I think that's just a little bit of inexperience for him, whereas clear sailing down the outside for Oisin Murphy on the winner, Kay de Bethune, just collaring late Seraph Gabriel. We'll hopefully chat to Oisin in a minute.
And we've got to mention it, haven't we? Because it's Ed's favourite race of the year. It's that strong form race that comes to the fore time and time again. The
London Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Those like Royal Ascot winners, and these days Triumph Hurdle winners as well. Can win every race from the London Gold Cup. We'll look at the home turn to see if the third was a bit unlucky, but Seraph Gabriel would have traded very short, but Oisin Murphy on the near side, look at that drive. Gets up on the line to win by a whisker for these guys. Gary Gillies, another one for Hampshire. What a week for Hampshire, from Andover in Hampshire, the greatest town on the universe, in conjunction with Team Valor, that's Barry Irwin and co, who they're based in Florida. So one for Andover and Florida, two contrasting places, I think it's fair to say. That was close.
Well, I'm never going to listen to Oisin Murphy's ever tight photo ever again, because he walked down the walkway. I presume you think you came off second best then, Oisin?
Well, Richie, the cameraman usually knows, because they can watch the replay closely, and the camera never came off the Rafe Beckett trained horse Seraph Gabriel, so I had to be realistic. And
don't trust cameramen.
Well, yeah. Richie, look, he had a bad draw. Rossi and I were second last and last throughout. He didn't really travel. They all slowed down in the straight, and the lads at home have done a great job with him. This is a good race to win with the horse, and I'm delighted for Parkhouse Stables.
5 winners this week. How would you sum that up?
As well as I could have done, and thank you to all the owners and trainers and everyone who's supporting me.
And what about Charlie? What a day you have had.
Unbelievable for the team, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Well, enjoy every minute of it. And in the meantime, I will have a word with our director. Oisin Murphy has just basically taken our camera crew and our director to task. So I'm sorry, guys. Oisin doesn't like you.
Well, Rishi has just thrown a man called Tim Gooden under the bus unnecessarily. I'm going to stand up for my director, because that was a race tech shot.
Oh, yeah,
that's not an ITV shot.
Oisin was looking at the wrong camera, clearly, and they must have got it wrong. But Tim is telling us very strongly in our ears that he was on the right horse with his cameras. So all is good. Everyone's happy. Oisin Murphy has won the race. And he should really trust his own instinct. He was on top of the horse.
Well, I know he wasn't very confident at all, but when he watches the ITV racing back, he'll have it recorded, I know. He will go, oh no, they really did watch me walk the whole way up the walkway. Luckily he returned, and I mean, he's literally got there on the nod, hasn't he? But what a week for Oisin. 5 winners. It's not easy to ride one, never mind 5.
And should we pay tribute to Rishi's career at ITV, which might be coming to an end? What fun he's been, and what a great star. Thanks for everything you've done, Rishi, I'm afraid. Tim will have his way.
And
it's back to golf, snooker, bowls.
Ryan more now.
What a week for Oisin Murphy. What a week for the Baldings, who came here after that drought. And look at the smile on the groom's face, Charlie, leading up a couple of winners. Charlie Richards, he's called. And the owners are here, Gary and Molly Gillies, their son Aidan as well. Part of the exodus from Hampshire to Royal Ascot. Big Jono on the left there, big Southampton fan. Jono Balding, future England rugby player, I reckon. He's in the under-19s and
2-3 of our best fighting it out in the finish there, Ed. And you know, in tough, rough races like that, it's all about positioning on the way round, a bit of luck, getting into the right position when everybody is on top of each other. Rough race again.
It was, yeah, and Ruben will show more of that, but the winner and the second actually sat pretty much second last and last throughout. Oisin followed Ross Orion through, but the close-up right at the end where both jockeys, they know it's going to be tight, they put their pro-crush down, hands and heels, grab hold of them, try and push the horse's neck down where it matters, but it literally was a nostril.
Well, the first three home were actually the last three into the home straight, and in front of them was Seraph Gabriel, best seeker in the red cap, and obviously your winner Key de Boutain at the very, very back. Now James Doyle doesn't get as good a run as Ross Orion does. Rossa gets out and gets moving there. James has to pull inside and stop again now as Oisin Murphy comes down his outside, and then Oisin runs into a little bit of traffic. He'd have been an unlucky loser too. He has to sit here for a stride, just waiting for Rossa to get by before he switches out to go and challenge Rossa. I wasn't so sure about best seeker. I wouldn't be sure he was loving the ground because he's head up in the air. Not quite as bad as Aragana yesterday, but he's definitely not liking it. He ran left and right under James Doyle, but Oisin Murphy has landed the winner on the line. He might have been a little unlucky, so I'm sure he's delighted to have gotten there.
Yeah, it's a meeting, well, certainly a day where we've not actually seen some hard luck stories on the straight course, which you can see in the big fields, of More Thunder to an extent, but he's still got a run. But we've seen somebody dominating on the front end, but they've come from right off it there. And it's really suited Kay de Bethune, the gallops that's established. But equally, still had a bit of traffic problems. Would have been an unlucky loser, but Oisin Murphy back in the winner's enclosure. To be popular, Oisin Murphy, he's had a great week. He's just one behind Ryan Moore with 5 successes, but even if he does win the last, which is very possible, Ryan has already been presented that award. He's won it on countback. John Gosden as well on top, Pete. He's finished level with Aidan O'Brien, but most importantly, he's come out on top, and I think that's great given that he took those 2 feature races already.
Yeah, it's a deserved success for one of the best trainers in the world. So popular.
Three features. Sorry,
that's right. Don't cheat him a feature. For goodness' sake. No, it's great to see these top names succeeding at this meet. It's wonderful to see such winners coming from everywhere, good horses coming from everywhere at Royal Ascot, but of course you're going to see those biggest names at the top of the leaderboard more often than not.
What was your favorite jockey of the day now?
Jockey of the day, yes. I like it. I think Kieran Schumacher.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to give him a little bit of
tip of the cap.
I do. It's been a tough time for him. The other thing I should mention is John Thady Gosden. Got to remember that young Thady, who is the heir to the throne, is on that license.
Especially because Thady has been the one that's putting himself out there, right? John Gosden is very loquacious and he is more than gracious to do an interview, but more and more we're seeing Thady come over and do a lot of press, and that goes a long way with us.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh yeah, we found that this week. Keep voting for your jockey of the day. You'll see the QR code on screen consistently. Keep voting for your Longines jockey of the day. We'll head out and find Ali.
Well, joining me now is Sam Narty from the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Sam, you're in charge of commingling the World Pool and your betting product there. How much does Royal Ascot resonate with your audience in Hong Kong?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, Royal Ascot was actually the very first World Pool. So we launched what is now a global wagering brand across 10 countries. But it started all here at Ascot in 2019. And that's a reflection really of how popular UK racing is in general, but Royal Ascot is specifically. So definitely it's getting late into the night, of course, in Hong Kong, but there'll still be a captive audience there.
And in terms of World Pool, in that short time, it's made a huge impact.
It's made a huge impact on probably 3 levels. Industry, huge returns back to the race courses for prize money, and the industry for infrastructure and things like that, as a wagering brand, as I mentioned, but also as a racing brand. So for us, World Pool is about wagering, it's about industry, but it's also about the best racers in the world, and that's why it started at Royal Ascot to some extent.
With the Japanese horse race, Staturday running in today's sprint race, is there more interest back at home, given that your racing fans will know him, he's raced in Hong Kong a number of times?
No question about that, and actually any horse that's raced in Hong Kong, I would say two things. One, it raises awareness for sure with our customers, but they also have a very good strike rate after they race in Hong Kong. Docklands, for instance, earlier in the week had raced in Hong Kong in December. Rebels Romance has been to Hong Kong, and even Antino, who won a couple of weeks ago in the Doomben Cup in Australia. So it will raise awareness, but they also have a very good strike rate.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us.
Pleasure.
Well, a great tradition here at Royal Ascot is that the Household Cavalry Band plays every day in the bandstand during racing, and also for the famous Ascot sing-along after racing. And I'm delighted to be up here in the bandstand, joined by the bandmaster, Matthias Anderson. Matthias, it's so good to be up here. You've got such a great spot up here. How has the week been?
It's been really good. It's been lovely weather. We've been sweltering throughout the week, really. As our uniforms are quite thick in this, especially with the sun's on. Some of the guys do suffer a little bit, but we've really enjoyed it nonetheless. It's great to be here. We've been here a couple of times now, last year as well, I think it was, and the atmosphere is really, really good.
And how much preparation goes into prepping for a week like this? Is there a long preparation ahead of Royal Ascot?
Yeah, I mean, we have quite a lot of music with us, so we have to rehearse most of it. Some of it we play quite frequently anyway, so it doesn't require as much rehearsal. But it's usually at least 3 or 4 or 5 days or something like that. It's throughout a couple of weeks before we get here.
And tell us about the band that we've got here today. What sort of instruments are playing?
So it's a typical wind band. So we have flutes, both the normal flute and the piccolo flute. We have clarinets behind me here. We've got saxophones, we have the trumpets, we've got French horns, tubas and trombones, and we've got a percussionist as well.
And it's your job as the bandmaster to keep these guys in check all afternoon.
It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. It's great fun. So obviously this doesn't make much noise, but if I'm not clear, they're going to be unsure, so it's really my job to try to get them to play well together.
Okay, well, I'm keeping an eye on the time because it's nearly time for you to play your next piece. Can you introduce the next piece that you're going to play for us?
Yeah, so we're going to play a selection of music from the animated film The Incredibles. So this is by an arrangement by Joe Bocock.
Okay, so I want you to introduce the band to us and give us your cue for them to get going. Right. So you've got to teach me how I'm going to do this.
Yeah. So you basically you're going to bring them up. We'll show them how to bring up. So we'll go like this into the playing position, and then don't play just now. So then we give them a bit of a breath, and then they go. Okay. Right.
Right. I'll go on your lead. We can do it in sync.
Okay. I'm just going to stick one of these in there. So here we go. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's play now. The whole thing then.
That's not Pink Panther. Oh, no.
Is it?
Sorry.
It wasn't Mission Impossible.
I've just asked Peter what he thought it was and realised he actually doesn't have.
I don't have the IFB.
All you heard was Tom singing.
All you heard was me go.
And I couldn't make anything of that. But Michelle said Pink Panther, and she knows her stuff. So
I don't know.
No,
it's really hard to hear too because it's very loud around here. So I'm not sure.
I heard it all, but I just didn't know what it was. But it sounded great. You going to be there later?
Oh, definitely. You got to go to the bandstand at least once during Royal Ascot. It's one of the things when Americans talk to me about their plans coming over. I say one night at least you have to do it. It's a really different and fun experience.
Why is it such a thing?
I haven't been.
Oh, right. Wait, you've never done it? That's insane, borderline.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I guess it's a version of the proms, right? That's the idea, which I've never been to. But it starts off and it's the World War II songs, and you get into the pop music, and it ends with the patriotic songs.
I hear the pop music from the car park, which is where I generally go.
They do have champagne at the bandstand too.
No, I realised. Yes, the thing is, in the car park, it's free.
Yeah, but if you can't choose what you like, I would rather pay for what I want.
There you go.
John and Thady Gosden are champion trainers of the week.
By the way, John
Royal Ascot 2020. But there's the recently retired Mick Halford, great trainer in Ireland, a long-time trainer to His Highness the Aga Khan, who we sadly lost earlier this year, and Mick stopped training just before that, actually, very early on this season. So we wish him all the best. Great Mick Halford, great to see him here presenting that award to John and Thady Gosden, top trainers at this year's Royal Ascot.
Coming into this, it was 55 wins at Royal Ascot for John, and then 11 for John and Thady on the joint license.
All right, we've got one more race to come. It is the Queen Alexandra. You've got some fun facts on that shortly.
I do.
Shortly, we'll save those and take a look back at what a sensational week it's been so far.
3, 2, 1, roll egg. We're on air, everybody. Good luck.
Rosalian and Docklands narrowly. Second last year, one die this year. Very close.
First, number 5, Docklands.
Docklands has won the Queen Anne.
This iconic route has taken monarchs for the last 2 centuries, from Windsor Castle to the golden gates of the world's greatest flat racing festival, Royal Ascot.
Oh, and Tom, don't forget we have one more very special guest.
What is his name?
American Affair coming home very strongly now with Paul Mulrennan. American Affair and Frost and Dawn. It'll be between this pair. American Affair.
I don't know what we've done, but we've been allowed out. We've come to the bandstand lawns.
And it's onwards run for William Buick, who moves past the leader, stretches his neck out, and wins the Prince of Walesies.
No shot I can get out like this, though.
I went too big.
You shall not pass.
Time for Sandals. They just have the lead. Time for Sandals.
I'm sure I know what 2 shots is.
It's been great.
Do you remember all those moments?
I think it's just really delivered this year, Pete, Royal Ascot. I know the weather's a thing. I just feel that, the crowds are up. There's been a real sense of celebration. The racing's been as fabulous as you would expect. And I think the team here are really getting it right with regards to making it so inclusive. Yes, tradition. Yes, it's high-end quality, but the doors are open to everyone, and there's a real pervading sense of that here.
It's a great point. You get to see all kinds of people, and there's different experiences that can be tailored depending on what you're looking for in your race day. I love how accommodating it is. It's my favorite race meet in the world.
It's exciting. Favorite in the world?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I love me some Breeders' Cup, and that's right there. That's in the frame, in the photo, maybe even. But there's nothing like this.
There's no experience like it, right? It's something that you can't duplicate. It's something that you have to experience. If you're a racing fan, anytime that someone asks me, is it worth going? Or they ask me what racing event is worth going to, it is the first thing that I recommend.
It's been fabulous. We've got one more race to come. Before that, here's Ella.
Well, the betting rings here at Ascot are always buzzing and always have such a good atmosphere. So we're going to go and discover if punters are doing well for the week. It's been a tricky day, a few big price winners. Guys, how's your day been? Are we up, down? Have we backed any winners?
I have had 3 winners today.
Wow, you're doing very well.
I'm in a very good mood. I am happy. I am so happy. But I tell you what, I never knew who I was backing. I used to go for the names. and anything to do with my life, or anyway, that's it.
Love it. That's a great strategy. Well, you're doing very well. 3 winners already. Congratulations. Let's go and find out how a few more people are doing. Guys, how has your day been? Are we up? Are we down? Are we back to any winners?
This will be complicated. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. How have you enjoyed your day?
Very good. Not very successful, but it was a blast. So.
Well, good luck for the last race. Let's go in and have a chat with John. John.
Good afternoon.
Great to see you. How has your week been from a bookie's perspective? Do you look forward to Royal Ascot every year?
Yeah, Royal Ascot. The two highlights of the bookmakers here is Royal Ascot and Cheltenham. Royal Ascot's obviously more salubrious settings. Look around you. It's beautiful here. So this week we're up a few quid. We're not saying it's great because it is a dear place, Royal Ascot. The expenses are pretty high here, and you have to pay staff and you have to put them up for the week. So it can be expensive, so you have to win.
And tell us, what was the horse that you were fearing the most when you came into this week on Monday? Who are you worried about?
Well, Field of Gold would have been the big worry of the week, but it was odds-on favourites. That did help, but we did take it on, and it did win, but we had plenty of other races to recover from it.
There's been a few big price winners across the week, which I'm sure helps you guys out immensely.
It balances itself out at the end of the week, and you hope at the end of the week you do win.
Great to chat with you, and we'll hopefully see you back again next year.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you very much.
Every time I see a bookmaker talk about an experience at Royal Ascot or at Ascot, I go back to '97, and that was the great Frankie Dettori Magnificent 7. It wasn't at the Royal Meeting, but it was when he went through the card, and there are bookmakers. Gary Wiltshire was the famous one, of course, who lost millions because of the horse in the last race. He'd already won the first 6, Frankie, and the last race, this horse wasn't even expected to go and win. It was double figures. And the punters, Fujiyama Crest, just went bang, 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 bang. They didn't stop. And Gary in his book talks about it brilliantly, how he just knew what was going to happen. And he nearly put him out of business. He wrote a book about it.
It goes to show you, Gary in that situation.
He wrote a book about it to recoup some of his losses.
And he has made a lot of it up.
Yeah, he has.
Gary had all the value in that bet, but you can't eat value.
No, you can't. It was
the day of favourites here. All of the bookmakers were licking their wounds for sure.
All right, Sober's going to be popular in the next. Let's hear from his trainer.
Willie Mullins is the trainer of the modern day Sober, and it won't be lost, Willie, the irony to a lot of people of you training a horse called Sober in the last race of Royal Ascot.
No, Matt, don't be saying anything like that. But we did see the name at the sales, and we looked him up and we thought, this horse maybe should be bought, yeah. And then Terry came up to me about 10 minutes later and said, Willie, we like this horse, let's try and buy it together. And we did.
Terry Henderson is just here with you, yeah.
Terry, yes.
Terry, welcome to the party.
Thanks, Matt. It's a lovely party to be at.
Yeah, it is. Look, the one question for all of us, William, and who are we to question Willie Mullins after all? Trip, are you absolutely certain this boy will stay 2 mile 5 and a bit?
Of course we are. What else can we do? Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, he's lovely and relaxed. That and Ryan will give him every chance to get the trip. But we're not worried about the trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're pretty hopeful?
Yeah, we're not worried about the trip. Yeah.
Let's hope he stays like you in the bag now. Good luck.
No. Cheers.
Talking about the distance that they'll be traveling to the longest race of the Royal Meeting with Tom, do you know how long this race used to be?
Oh, goodness, no, absolutely don't.
You don't?
No, sorry, I didn't know. How long ago are we talking?
Ooh, I don't know how long. There's no time date on my notes.
Hang on a second.
It used to be 3 miles.
Did it really?
So they've turned it back in distance.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Hold on, I've got one more fun fact for you.
Okay.
Not only is this the longest race of the Royal Meeting, it is actually the longest contest run under flat racing rules in Britain.
Yep. You got a 2.5 at Goodwood, but this is the longest of them.
A marathon to end the marathon.
Yeah, very good it is.
2 miles, 5 furlongs, and 143 yards to be exact.
Do you have an idea of who's going to win the marathon? Peter, first of all.
Well, idea of who's going to win, I think you have to start talking about Sober, who ironically is smashed in the betting and makes all the sense in the world for Willie Mullins and Ryan Moore. But I'm going to take a little bit of a shot with Samui, who I think is very reliable. This horse raced on Tuesday, good, staying on third in the Copper Horse. And I like the wheel back, and this horse will be finishing. Maybe one you could use with Sober in USA style exotics or play each way if you're in a place that does that.
I like Sober in here. You know, they purchased this horse after August of last year for $150,000 to bring him to the hurdle, and he was a hurdler, and he did a successful one his last out. I think it'd be very cool too. Same owner, same trainer, won the opening race of the Royal Meeting with Dockland, so it'd be very cool for them to be able to close out the card that way.
All right, Sober's not for me at the prices. Wild Waves for me for a team in form. They won the most recent race. You're a star. Thank you so much, Peter.
Cheers.
Been an absolute pleasure having you with us throughout the week at this time. Thank you very much. Michelle and I aren't going anywhere. Don't worry. We will see you out after our last race, the Queen Alexandra. Longest race of the meeting. Longest race anywhere in Britain. And they go right back beyond the Gold Cup start for this. We'll rejoin our coverage at ITV.
The man on the right, champion Royal Ascot jockey for a 12th time. Congratulations to him. And from Ryan and Brian to Brian.
Yes, it's the last opportunity of Royal Ascot 2025. But 13 winning favourites. Bookmakers now cannot lose. They're well in front, as Ray Mulvaney will confirm. Star Post laid an even 25,000 on Sober, and one punter's come up here. There's 20 large in there, and even money on Sober, and even 20,000. Now 6-5. Samurai 7-2, 8-1 Trooper Bisdee, and at 17-2 Dallas Star with 10-1 Wild Waves. Ray, you now cannot lose.
We're well ahead, Brian. Take a chance, even money. We're well ahead. Take a chance with this. It has to win. Let them in, let them on.
You've no conscience.
None.
Straight answer.
7-2 the bar! 7-2 bar!
But the punters are going in, Ruby, on Willie Mullins's Sober in the Docklands colours, being well backed on the exchanges as well. The boss has won this 4 times. Ryan Moore's won it 4 times. Has this been a plan for some time?
It has been a plan, yeah. He had a run in Killarney over hurdles, head over 2.5 miles, even when he won. He's fit, he's well. The only slight concern maybe would be he did hang to the left in Maydam when he ran in quick ground before, but that was in a much better race, the Dubai World Cup, so hopefully down in grade the ground won't catch him out.
Does everybody here fancy Sober because he's well backed and he's the lucky last? Do we think he could get a few people out of trouble?
I'm hoping that Samui can cause a bit of an upset. And
4 days on?
Yes, why not? Listen, if the fact that Gordon has thought that he can back up again, it was a really good run. Look, if he thinks he's okay, I'll shy away from the odds-on shot in the lucky last. Samui to put up a career best around here.
That was a lovely shot of the favourite before it got eclipsed by number 7. Samui just stood, Sober stood very calmly, and he's got a bit of a statuesque look about him, hasn't he? He's quite tall, he's rangy, he is a good-looking individual by Camelot, but yeah, Willie Mullins, having won this 4 times, should be in a good position to win it.
It looks it, doesn't it? I mean, he was purchased the sort of autumn last year and won on his stable and hurdling debut pretty impressively. Switches back to the flat. Now, he was a good stayer for Andre Fabre, but he hasn't obviously tried as far as this. I mean, we've got Willie Mullins and Gordon Elliott going head-to-head here with a favourite and second favourite. It feels like we're at Cheltenham.
Is anyone negative, has inconvenienced by the ground? I'll get my teeth in a minute. Anyone inconvenienced by the ground?
It's all a bit of an unknown with quite a few of these, don't they? Especially over an extreme trip. Fascinated to see how Trooper Bisdee goes for Sir Mark Prescott. 6 wins, gone all the way from 56 up to 85 winning, and then he's now on a mark of 90. So fascinated to see how he gets on.
Yeah, Sir Mark Prescott in the carriages at the beginning of the day. For the last time. Luke Harvey is down at the start, dried off and freshened up.
Duncan,
ready to give
Goodhue.
show us the winner.
Thanks for that, Jace. Do you know what? I was just talking to Oisin Murphy and saying, I think this is the best Ascot I've ever been to. It's just everything's gone right. The starts have been absolutely superb. James and the team have just done so well. It's been absolutely brilliant. Just loading these forward now. Scottish Anthem just on the far side there. Just a few to go forward. Last to go is going to be Youthful King. For what has, and I'll wait till Youthful King actually goes in, a very successful meeting.
Queen Alexandra Stakes. Not sure how much pace there's going to be here. Let's see who sets it. Dallas Star jumps away from the inside stall, and also the white face of Youthful King in the early stages. They're both racing quite a prominent position. At this stage, Trooper Bisdee, King of the Road, and Wild Waves are all staying out towards the centre of the racecourse, but closer to the rail it's Dallas Star in company with Sober, and between that two groups on his own is Youthful King, who's just tacking over. So as they settle down, it is Dallas Star awash with sweat, with Youthful King now moving into second place. Then up the centre of the racecourse, Trooper Bisdee leads King of the Road and Wild Waves, and they're yet to decide where they're going to slot in. You can see Luke Morris in the yellow cap just constantly looking across to that group on the inside. The grey is Scottish Anthem, who's third in that group, and towards the back of it are both Samui at this stage and the nose-banded Toby Tops. So Luke Morris looks if he's going to try and slot in at least second place outside Dallas Star, but they've still got a long way to go up this home straight before they reach the bend. Dallas Star out in the lead, Trooper Bisdee sidling over to come and sit outside the leader. The grey is Scottish Anthem, big ride for Carl McHugh, and likewise alongside Youthful King, who now just has to grab hold as Trooper Bisdee comes across a little bit into his lap. Still there as Sober on the outside, King of the Road as well, and the pace is not that strong. Wild Waves is held up at the back in company with Samui, who'll be the one that would be hoping they would be going swift enough. So out in the lead, Trooper Bisdee has now got the advantage and may well head over towards the rail, with Dallas Star in second and Sober slots in as the riders just begin to prepare for the bend. The one that's been slightly outmanoeuvred is King of the Road, who's three wide on the outside of Youthful King, and the grey up the inside is Scottish Anthem, as Trooper Bisdee does indeed, having taken virtually the whole straight, just move over to the running rail. That marker passing the winning line with the circuit to go was Wild Waves, just preceded by Samui and Toby Tops. So turning right-handed, heading towards the King George start. We'll be back here next month to bring you that. And out in the lead, Trooper Bisdee now just biding his time. In second is Dallas Star, who's happy enough just to track the leader at this stage. In third race is Sober. There hasn't been a test of stamina thus far. Racing on the outside of Scottish Anthem, and then Youthful King with King of the Road as they make their way down the side of the racecourse. The Kings side by side, and the back three are Toby Tops, Samui and Wild Waves, still held up by Oisin Murphy. So running downhill and still being held on to is Trooper Bisdee, only by a neck or so from in second place Dallas Star, and both of those are happy to try and stack this field up. Ryan Moore watching their moves at the moment on Sober, racing on the outside of the grey Scottish Anthem, Youthful King with King of the Road, and then Samui, who's three from the back two being Toby Tops. First one just to be tushed along, Toby Tops in the noseband by George Wood, and as a result Wild Waves moves past that one, and we're now past the halfway stage. So turning at the far end of the racecourse, Swindley Bottom for the last time of this year's Royal Ascot, and Trooper Bisdee has the advantage. It's a length in hand over Dallas Star. Third place belongs to Sober, who's on the outside of Scottish Anthem. Youthful King and King of the Road are in fifth and sixth places, with Samui next, Wild Waves, and still just struggling is Toby Tops. So now they begin to rise steadily up the final 6 furlongs. Trooper Bisdee out in front has set no more than an even gallop. In second place remains Dallas Star. Third place, and getting a little closer, is Sober as Scottish Anthem, the outsider, just begins to feel the pinch slightly. Likewise King of the Road as the field move away from Toby Tops, so making their way up the hill towards the final 5 furlongs. And out in the lead is Trooper Bisdee by a neck or so from Dallas Star. Just breaking cover, Sober travels strongly. Samui has made ground, being tracked by Wild Waves. Now being ridden is King of the Road, who's beginning to struggle. Youthful King still at the back of that leading bunch. Trooper Bisdee now has to be encouraged along to try and increase the tempo. In second place, Dallas Star, still sitting quietly, is Sober in third place, then Samui, Wild Waves another to be trying to creep into contention. Top of the home straight, and Dallas Star moves past Trooper Bisdee, still being shadowed by Sober. Samui and Wild Waves are now asked for their effort, and that quartet form a diagonal line as they make their way with 2 furlongs to go. Sober on the outside of Dallas Star, Samui and Wild Waves trying to get on terms, but Sober, Ryan Moore still travelling comfortably. Samui in second, Wild Waves in third, and Sober is now asked to go and win the Queen Alexandra, and quickly goes 3 lengths clear. Samui, Wild Waves and Dallas Star are chasing the leader, but Sober comes home to give Ryan Moore another winner this week This one for Willie Mullins. Sober it is who wins the last. Samui Wild Waves. In fourth place was Dallas Star. They're finishing at wide intervals. Scottish Anthem, Youthful King, still looking back for the last 2 or 3. Trooper Bisdee has been well beaten as well. And then the likes of King of the Road. And Toby Top's yet to get to the line. Settled quickly. It is Sober who is the last winner of the Queen Alexandra Stakes, and gives Ryan Moore another winner. I think that's 7 on the week for him. This one for Willie Mullins, who's had a couple of victories, and that plot that was hatched a little while ago has paid dividends in style. Never really threatened. Sober it is, just dismounted after the line. Hope he is okay. Didn't see him move short, but Ryan probably just precautionary, get some water on him and all of the others.
Yeah, that might just be a policy. 2 mile 6 in this heat. I think they all might have dismounted. Some effort from the second, Samui, after he ran earlier in the week. He's dismounted as well, as you can see. A bit like the winter in Ireland, poor old Gordon Elliott, seeing Willie Mullins disappear into the distance. Ruby, how impressive was that?
Bolted in, didn't he? He got quite keen in the middle of the race. I was thinking, oh, I hope he doesn't burn his chance out, Ed, but Ryan was exuding confidence. He got outside Dallas Star on the home turn, and he's arrived on the bridle between the 2 and the 1, and then Ryan has opened them up and he pulled away to win really well. It was a good performance. I'm sure OTI will get a good kick out of it, and yeah, he's done it really well, hasn't he?
Strengthen your hand for Australia, potentially?
Potentially, yeah. Potentially it does, and obviously OTI would love to go there. I mean, this is obviously an extreme test of stamina at 2 miles 5.5 on the flat, and he has stayed it really well, but I think the Melbourne Cup's a much different race.
Well, Ryan Moore coming back, and Ryan obviously well fed for the horses, just dismounting for looking after them, but just talk me through, because that looked really straightforward for you.
Yeah, it was. He was a level above them. He had very good form. He's a group winner, and he beat them as he was entitled to do, Rishi.
And that's your 7th winner of the week, Ryan. Once again, top jockey here. Just tell me about how you would sum it up.
Ooh, look, yeah, it's great to ride. 7 winners. Aidan's horses were in great form all week. They all, you know, when you're riding for Aidan and Willie, it's you know, you're going to ride winners. Yeah.
And you're coming back this time, and there's no one shouting as we get to this point, so it'll be quite calm for you.
Yeah, well, it's end of the week, isn't it?
Well done, Ryan. Great week.
Thank you.
Well, here's Willie Mullins, who has just won with Sober. He's absolutely hacked up. Willie. Sorry, Willie. You've absolutely hacked up on the snap.
Yes, let's follow. I'm going to follow.
You follow. Come with us.
Yeah. Well done, Ryan. Hopefully everything is okay. All right. Well done. Yeah. Well done.
So tell me about it. I mean, do you just see Gordon Elliott and you just think, yeah, flat racing, jumps racing, I'll just smash him up?
No. I'm delighted. We bought this guy. He's a lot better than we thought he would be. I thought he'd improved. It looked like he'd improved an awful lot. And Terry, of course, major owner in the horse, will want to bring him back down to Melbourne. So hopefully we get him qualified to the Melbourne Cup, and that's where we'll probably aim for.
Absolutely. And Terry, come and have a quick word with us, because you've bookended the whole Royal Ascot, haven't you? You start with Docklands and you finished with Sober, which is something I suspect you might not be later. I don't know. I'm not saying you're a drinking man, but if I was you, I'd have a glass.
I won't be sober.
No. No, I mean, so special, yeah?
Oh, such a thrill. Look, in your wildest dreams, for our partners back in Australia that invest in these horses, who could have thought we'd book in that Royal Ascot meeting? We all know it's the greatest race meeting in the world, and to have a horse at each end of the carnival is just incredible.
And of course, Docklands was down under recently. I mean, Willie's suggesting then, I mean, it's fairly obvious with the owners, but Melbourne Cup, here you come.
Well, I think this horse will go to Australia, and Docklands can stay in England for the Champions Mile.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. This boy could be a bit better than you thought, couldn't he?
I tried to buy him 2 years ago when he won the Ebor, but what happened was he wasn't for sale there. So when he came up for sale, we had him earmarked, and then when I saw Willie in the ring, I thought, oh, bugger it. You know, he'll help in us, but we got together, and the rest is history.
Well, it's been a very special week for you, and your buying of these horses, bringing them to race here and all over the world, adds such a lot to all of us, so congratulations.
I appreciate it, mate.
Let's go to Ruby.
Yeah, obviously to go to the Melbourne Cup, Sober will have to either win the Ebor or get group or listed place form to get into the Melbourne Cup is one of the ballot requirements, but he did get quite keen in the middle of the race, and that will help him actually at a Melbourne Cup where they will go faster. But I mean, look at someone like Ryan, who's had 34 rides I think this week, the end of 5 days race, and this horse is pulling and dragging at him. and when he comes back in, he doesn't even blow after. It's incredibly fit man, so he is. But you can just see how he always rides with one hand shorter than the other, and he's trying to get his right hand back to get it down on this horse's neck to get him to switch off. It didn't happen for him initially, but he got him switched off well enough, and he quickened up when he needed him late in the day.
And so it was. Sober wins the last. 4-5 favourite for Willie Mullins and for Ryan Moore. And the owners bookending the whole meeting is incredible with Docklands and Sober. Good one from Samui, and Wild Waves was back in third. So there you have it. Feels ironic, really, Sober winning the last, and the lady that had 4 drinks lined up in front of her earlier on has joined us, Ali Vance.
Keeping these away from Ali.
Okay, quite right.
Yeah, I've turned up with a bottle of Chapel Down, which is the official English sparkling wine of Ascot.
Let me open. Thank you. Here it is.
And Michelle took it straight off me. So Tom, you're going to do the honours. Because this is a special bottle of Chapel Down. This is the Royal Ascot edition, and they've only produced 2,000. So you guys are very lucky. We're all very lucky to be opening it. There we are, the Royal Ascot edition of Chapel Down. Chapel Down.
Oh, I thought you were opening it already.
No, here's the noise. I need a glass nearer me, but that's okay.
No, the more silence, the better you are at this. Oh, little poppy.
All right.
I give it like a 7.5.
All right, I'll try. What was your highlight off the track, Michelle? Away from the racing, your highlight?
I think mine was probably the balloons. The first day we went and had a picnic in the balloons. I thought that was just beautiful and tremendous. That was the greatest view and so creative for a spot to be.
And Michelle, you have enjoyed taking a selfie with the King in the background every day as part of the Royal procession.
I should have said
he
that.
Stops right there. You guys have got the best view.
I should have said that. I do enjoy the selfies. And today I gave the hip hip hooray.
You led the crowd.
What about area away from the racing? Your favourite place to go?
I think the bandstand is the most lively place to go. I'm not sure I'd want to be going right now on a Saturday after racing, but I think that's where you can really soak up the atmosphere. But actually, to be honest, in the weather this week, the atmosphere has risen up a notch. It's been fantastic everywhere.
We are now being delivered after this. This is why Royal Ascot hits differently. There aren't many other sets and many other shows you'd close with just pure indulgence like this. Limited edition Chapel Down and an afternoon tea, which looks incredible.
Question.
Yes.
Cream or jam first?
Oh, well, I would always go cream first. That's the Devon way?
Correct.
I go cream first.
And the Cornish way is jam then
first.
cream, and all my roots are Cornish, but I still do the Devon way. Jam on top of cream, I feel like, is the way to go.
Do you know what we don't have, though? A way to eat this.
Well, we will make it work. I want to just focus on the action on track if we can, and just focus on some of those highlights. Let's rewind to Field of Gold, who feels an obvious one. This really lit up the meeting. A stunning performance, an incredible turn of foot. This was the performance, Ali, on day one we wanted.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, it was billed as such a clash between all those Guineas winners, and he absolutely tore it apart. Look at that. What a classy horse. Is he as good as his father, Kingman? Well, he certainly showed it there. And he's got to go on through the rest of the season and prove it now.
He could easily be, couldn't he? After that, he has got to be up there, and history repeating itself with that horse. Michelle Yu, over to you. You've worn blue ever since the Gold Cup, I think, for obvious reasons.
Do you know, though, that wasn't my top performance of the weekend. I changed it.
What?
I didn't choose Trawlerman.
Fine, well, I'm going with Trawlerman.
Okay.
This horse was just, I mean, what he did, the way he did it, it wasn't to be for Illinois, I know, but it was a brilliant performance from Trawlerman to dominate from the front for Will Buick, and what an excellent week for him as well.
Great week for William Buick, and that will lead us to some more blue for my favorites.
Michelle and I are co-presidents of the
Rebels Romance Fan Club.
Okay.
I talked to Charlie. I said I have a place for him at my house. He loves California.
No, I've already spoken to him. Don't worry.
We have to roast him. But what if we trade off? Like when it's cold and rainy in the winter here, you send him to me in California.
Here he is.
This was my highlight of the entire week.
Why for you guys? What is it about this that stirs you?
It's having this horse around for so many years, being at the top of his game. You don't see a lot of 7-year-olds that are globetrotters that act with such class and carry themselves with such poise, and they just deliver time and time and race. And How many times do you hear a jockey say, "This isn't my best friend"?
And also, I just feel like you look at some horse like Zaragana, has all the talent and doesn't really want to do it. And there's Rebels Romance, who has an awful lot of talent, but wants to do it every time and shows such heart. What a horse.
It was fantastic. We need to choose what we're going for here, I think. Because
I don't know what this is, I want it.
It spells dangerous, but you probably want to save a hand for the glass anyway, because this is what Royal Ascot does. Out on course, sensational action, and everywhere else you go, just indulgence, class, quality, openness. I think it's fair to say we've loved every second of it. Ali, thank you for everything. Thank you to Jay Mangan, who's been a big part of the show. Thank you to Michelle Yu. It was once again 5 days of fabulous. Bye-bye.